Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the start of the European Pro League here at the Gfinity Arena in London, England. I'm Pricey. I'll be bringing the action all weekend long, but joining me here, two experts in the scene. Of course, it's Tun and Gunty. Guys, how are you this morning?
Great, thanks. Thank you very much, Bryce.
Yeah, very, very good. Very excited to be here. I mean, it's an exciting weekend for Call of Duty in general, especially the European scene.
Yeah, this is a big moment the European scene has been waiting for a long time. Gunty, you've been in it. You've been waiting this for a long time as well, surely.
Yeah, it's nice to see it come around. Obviously, haven't been played in the MLG League. We've always thought the European League needs something similar to it, and it's finally nice to see it come around. And with a prize pot as big as this, you know, I don't think Europe's ever seen anything as big as it before. So I'm excited to see what happens this weekend.
Yeah, we have 8 top teams all in the Premiership, which is actually what this is. They're actually playing all over this weekend. We can see 8 fantastic games this weekend, all in 6 series. I mean, the rules and the format for this tournament are really quite interesting as well. The way it actually all kind of pans out, it's actually interesting to show. I mean, they're actually going to play 6 maps, but it's not a best of 6. It's like a Super 6 series. You have to play every single map. Now, how is that different from usual?
I mean, we touched on this a little bit, having conversations before today, and we were talking about, you know, maps are really a big counter on this. I mean, there you got the rules and the format up on the screen. But yeah, it's interesting because every map needs to be won by your team. You need to go all out.
Yeah, it certainly does. As you can see there, guys, 8 of Europe's best teams. Teams will play 7 games this entire season in a league format. So obviously they will get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and they'll be playing all the way through. Games will consist of every map in that series. So if there are 6 maps, you'll play every single one because that will count towards the end of the season. There is 11.3k up for grabs as well. 7,000 for the winner.
Yeah, I know. It's a nice prize just for a few league games.
It certainly is a nice prize.
You know, this weekend is going to be some great competition, though. We've got some really good games lined up.
We do know. So this is it's an interesting kind of split of the way the actual teams have come in as well. There are some good UK teams here. We've actually got 2 Spanish teams in the Premiership. One was invited, and the other one actually qualified through, which was a surprise for a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected there to be 2 Spanish teams in the top 8 teams in Europe, but fair play to them. They've deserved their place. One of them's qualified for the qualifier. They have every right to be here and represent the Spanish crowd proudly.
Yeah, they most certainly do. And it's one of those things where, you know, we could see kind of a Spanish resurgence. Their scenes have always been really good. They've always had, you know, a big fan base. We've always known. You think back to the days of Pain Gaming, there was a huge crowd they used to bring.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, the thing is, when you only have a couple of teams, you got that whole nation backing you. Yes, you know, the UK, they have sort of their top 2 teams, but you got other guys who are there and they're being backed up. But you have just those 2 teams to back. They get such a big following, and it's nice to see. I mean, every time you're in a chat watching on MLG TV, you're seeing the vamos all over the screen whenever they're playing.
Well,
you know,
we're actually going to see that today. I mean, like I said, we've got some really good games today, including the kind of the Spanish showdown, which is actually going to be game number 2. Which is Games 2 versus Overgaming. That's a lot of. I'm actually looking forward to it because I don't think I've ever actually got a chance to watch a Spanish team play a proper Spanish team.
No, yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. Obviously, they're fighting to be the best in their nation, and that's probably more important to them than anything else at the minute in this tournament. I do see Gamers 2 being the stronger team in that matchup. But no, it should be an interesting affair.
Yeah, it's one of them ones where obviously, yes, okay, we are in the Pro League here. We do want to do as best we can. But it'd be nice to get it one up on the other guys. So you know, it's always that.
Yeah, thing. I mean, they're both here representing Spain, but someone wants to represent Spain slightly better than the other one. I'll tell you what, if you are going to catch that game later on, you definitely want to check out the kind of the booth shots they're going to do because both of these teams are very energetic.
Yeah, you know, you see how wild they used to go,
they go
back
crazy,
to previous events, and you know these guys they get loud, and it's really great to watch. So it's good entertainment for everybody at home to watch inside the booth. And I do believe we are going to have a few shots inside there this weekend, but.
Well,
yeah, it's something to watch out for.
Speaking of teams, we all kind of gave our predictions of who we think is going to win this entire thing. So we all predicted, I mean, every single player is going to, and you can see there on your screen, it's almost a kind of a flip the coin between 2. Team Vitality and Epsilon are the 2 big teams. Gunch, you've gone for Vitality.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, it's very tough between them and Epsilon. I did see it as a 50-50, to be honest. They're both online. They're both taking tournaments off each other, beating each other quite a lot. But the reason I've gone for Vitality is pure off paper. And Epsilon on this game, like since Marky B's been released from TCM, he's not really had much luck. And I want him to do well, like especially in this league. It'll be a big breakthrough for him on this game. So I want to see them succeed. But on paper, I have to go for Vitality.
And here we go, the other side of it, the dark horses, the teams that could cause a few upsets and maybe surprise a few people here. A little bit more difference in the way this is picked, but It's VWS and Team Infused, apart from Calvin, who's chosen Hyper Games. So why VWS and Infused, which is actually our first game as well?
I mean, we've had a couple of conversations about this. These are the guys in these teams who have been around for such a long time as well. These are the people who not necessarily breaking through into those top 2 teams, but you know they've always done fantastically well. They've been around the scene for a while, got great experience. It's going to be a very, very close matchup.
Okay, and not only that, we've all predicted our player to watch for the tournament. Again, this is more or less the same names. 3 of us have gone for Watson. However, Gunch, Reedy, why?
It was hard to pick out of the top 2 teams. There's a lot. All their players are very strong, but Reedy's he's kind of flown under the radar a bit recent. Well, not recently, but since he's come about. But I think amongst the top players, a lot of people do rate him as a really high caliber player. He's explosive when he gets hyper. He completely goes off. He can take control of the game. That's why I've chosen him, and I think he's really motivated to win, especially against Vitality.
Well, okay. I mean, speaking of Vitality, you've gone with Watson. Why Watson for this?
This guy, I mean, we've really seen him since Champs improve as a player. You know, he's been in those teams where he's constantly putting up them numbers. We've seen him do it at Champs. We've seen him doing it at previous Gfinity events as well. Putting up those numbers, doing really good work, but not necessarily being completely surrounded by players he needs to be surrounded by. Now he is. It's going to be interesting to see how he feeds off those players and whether he can go on and actually do something this weekend.
Well, I actually picked Watson as well, and it is quite interesting. Like I said, he had these flashes of brilliance, these glimpses, you would say. And then Champs came along, and he had a great result at Champs. And a lot of people are saying his ego has gone through the roof. It's only ego if he can't back it up. And so far, he's actually been playing really well, and he has been one of those mainstays. This is definitely his game. I want to watch him for that reason. He is, kind of put his mouth up there. He has been saying a lot of things to teams, and he is one of the more confident and cocky players. And this is his opportunity. If he doesn't prove it in the Pro League, with the players, the squad he's got, I mean, you've got Tommy, you've got Josh, and you've got Petey, all ex-Epsilon players. I mean, a few of them are ex-TCM players. These are the big players in the scene, right? They're all very well-known names. If Watson can't perform in this squad, then he may never make it at the top.
No.
This is his chance, isn't it?
Yeah, I just want to touch on the whole ego and stuff like that. I mean, it's not even a bad thing to have. I mean, if you look at all sports in general, all players that have arrogance and ego tend to be very good players. It's not a bad thing to have at all. I mean, players like, I'd say Rated, Tommy, and Watson, they're all arrogant people, but it's a good thing in their game. They bring it into their game, and it makes them a better player.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's that confidence that they bring. You have to have that confidence when you walk into the booth. All right, well, we can actually take a look at the players in the booths here. Like I said, the first game will be VWS against Team Infused. And this is, like I said, 2 dark horses. A lot of people predicted them to be a dark horse. And it's going to be a big game here. For me, it's more of a benchmark of where I see these players. And I'm interested to see how the players actually on VWS do when you've got people like Nolson and Brain. But there you go. You can actually see, I mean, it's going to be one of those. They're kind of an unknown quantity for me.
Yeah, VWS is the reason I put him as a dark horse as well, because I don't know what to expect from him. I mean, if any team's going to come out firing, and it'll be VWS. But the team's kind of weird on paper. It's half experienced, half new breed of players. So you got Nolson and Brain, who have on this game they've been really shining a lot, especially at the start of the game. They were tipped as online warriors, which you can take that in a good way.
That's all, the thing is, right, with the online warrior thing is we've actually seen a lot of players been named that in the past.
It's a good thing.
But yeah, it is a good thing because a lot of the time it will translate nowadays. It used to be where it didn't translate. There used to be those players who just couldn't bring it to land. More and more these days, we are seeing these players who will actually bring that level of performance to an event, and they just get into it, especially when you've got soundproof booths now. Yeah. They're still a little bit isolated from the crowd. It's more of an environment where they can actually just concentrate on what they're doing and get on with it.
It's always been one of them things you hear about these connection players and these online players. They always seem to do quite well at events, if I remember rightly. So, I mean, if anything, nowadays, it's okay to be called a connection player because it tends to work out.
It's just frustration amongst top players. They're like, oh, I can't stand losing to this guy. I'm going to call him Warrior. It's just, if you're getting called a Warrior, take it as a compliment. That's the way you got to take it. And it's good to know that you're frustrating. You know, people that are known as better.
I'm glad you're unhappy. That's what we always say. I'm glad you're unhappy with how well I'm playing. Okay, so we're going to talk about the strength and weaknesses of the team, and I want to talk about Team Infused because, Gunch, you brought up a really good point before about about maybe having leadership issues.
Yeah, you look at the roster on paper, and there's no real leadership skills, but it's all down to them 4 to come together as a team and try and make it not so that there is important to have a leader. They just need to work well as a team and just pull through.
Do you think it might be the issue of if you haven't got that guy in your squad, and this is the issue that I can only see, is if you haven't got that guy in your squad, if you take a loss, is it hard? It may be harder for them to bounce back.
Well, when you take a loss, I like to we've always done in our teams is after the game you need to all go and talk about it together as a team for a good hour after it. Get everything off your chest. That's the best way to regroup and not come back home and be frustrated at each other. It's the best way to go about it. But I mean, the 4 players on Infused are all genuine, nice people. There's no real egos in there. There's no clashes of personality. So long term, that they look good. So we can see how they get on this week.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is, I said, my dark horse. For that reason, I think chemistry here may be the factor.
Yeah.
These aren't the biggest names in the scene. They are well-known names, but they're not the biggest names. However, the chemistry factor could be it. I mean, we've seen teams who are greater than the sum of their parts. I'm hoping this is one of those squads.
Yeah, and turning around to VWS, while we're speaking about what their strengths and weaknesses are, you look at their VWS, maybe, I don't think they're necessarily as strong as Infused, but they could cause some surprises because of the 2 pretty much unknown quantities in Bram and Nolson. I think those guys could potentially really show up this weekend. Obviously, they've got Realize in there, who is obviously a substitute, which is going to be something that's probably going to detriment them a little bit, but that's not taking away the fact that Realize is a very experienced player and he's been there for a long time.
Well, let's have a quick look at the maps that these guys are going to be playing the entire way through. So there we go. We're going to have Hardpoint Solar, Hardpoint Retreat, Uplink Biolab, Uplink Detroit, and then Search and Destroy Riot and Search and Destroy Terrorist. So, like I said, we will be playing every single one of these maps, so don't worry, you will see your favorite game type regardless of where it is in the series. So, talking about the way this is actually going to work here, do you think that maybe build up a head of steam here for the guys on the respawns?
I don't know I don't know who's picked what maps on here. Obviously, I do favour.
You can see the logos. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know their strengths and weaknesses, particularly on these maps, to be honest. But on paper, I do see Infused as a better respawn team and VWS to take the S&Ds. I just think Infused has more slaying power. It also depends a lot on Nolson. If Nolson turns up, in VWS can just steamroll it, really.
I mean, if you have a look at them, though, I mean, VWS have picked 2 respawns in a row after, obviously, Infused picked that first Hardpoint Solar. So, do you think, I mean, obviously, S&D potentially being VWS's strength, maybe they've looked into thinking they're the better respawn team because they picked 2 game types after that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know, like, it's going to be hard for VWS, especially with a pickup as well in the Search and Destroy. I mean, you can favour them, but I can't see it with pickup teams and S&D never go well, in my opinion. I've never seen it go well ever. Even like when I've played, it's just messy, and you gamble. You just 4-man rush things, and sometimes it can pay off, and sometimes it doesn't.
Well, fair enough. Okay, Gunchi, thank you very much for joining us here on the analysis panel, guys. Me and Tan will be taking the casting for this first game. Gunchi will be jumping in at points to give his expert analysis, so we will be seeing him later on. Okay, Tan, let's get into this first. Let's jump on board with some of these players, and I'm actually going to jump on board with VWS first of all, and I'm going to go on board with Nelson. We've been talking about him a lot.
Yeah, let's see what it does straight off the back here. SM1 in hand, and this hardpoint, we always talk about this one. A little bit of a messy one, but it is nice to get some control. First few kills do actually go down to Infuse, and there's another one. Melon going to come in there with a kill. Brain does pick one up in turn, though. But watching Nelson straight from the back there, and he's had an okay start. 1 kill to 2 deaths.
Yeah, it's this kind of map where first middle hard point is just where you try to get a little bit of control. You worry about getting glass control and holding it down, and then rotating for the second one here. Basically, your goal is get control of the spawn and then just not give too many points away. You don't really want to just fight too much for it and end up losing the next hill, because the next hill is money. You want to actually get the points there.
Yeah, I mean, you look at how much time has already went by. 45 seconds gone. There's not really much in it, but neither teams have very many points at all. It is literally a very, very scrappy one. Trying to move on for the next hard point, but the team in the lead is going to be Team Infused. They are 16 points to 10 and rising, though, for VWS.
You see there, they're looking for it. Quicker's going to pick up one mid. He's going to see another one come around. They really are fighting for this. Quicker will pick up a second one here as well. There are more players. Quicker, is he going to get the third? Drops the third one, completely holding down this spawn for his team, refusing to give that away, and that will actually give the advantage here to Infused.
You know, people who don't necessarily know competitive Call of Duty that well will look at that and think, yeah, okay, yeah, he's getting a few kills there, but it's not really in and around the hard point. He made them kills so important there because he is holding down the spawns that he needs to. Now he's completely rotated out and lost it. But at the same time, he made that very important, really got those points for his team, who are in the lead, but just slightly. 8 minutes and a half remaining, and we do actually have a contestant at the moment. Melon, big kill there, and he is going to try and hold this one down. Still contested. Brain's going to come in there, clean things up. On board with Rob's, just trying to get some control for his team, and not going to really happen so far. Nice kill there, though, and cleaned up by his teammate. Rob's trying to stay alive, doing well. Does go down.
It's interesting to note that, I mean, Infused obviously won that rotation kills, and then very swiftly actually lost control and ended up spawning out. They just couldn't hold on and keep the bodies in the area they needed to. However, they have got the spawn for the next one. They will go for the rotation. Right now, it's actually going to be VWS in the lead. And you can see as we jump on board with Melon, he is going to come up against players, kind of choke that shot a little bit and will go down.
Well, we were talking about Brain and Nelson being a little bit of an unknown quantity. Brain 9 of 5 at the top of the leaderboard there for his team, but Quicker is in there. He's performed very well so far. There's a 2-piece from him. Headshot going to come in. Realize does go down. And this game is going to be a pretty tight one. Brycey, we did talk about, we thought this is going to be a good game. It's shaping up to be one.
Well, interesting thing about Quicker Than You is even though he is from Great Britain, he is in fact the Swedish champion at the moment. He actually won the Swedish Championship not that long ago. So he's got a lot to prove this weekend.
Well, on with Quicker still. He's performed so well so far in this map. Brain goes down. A nice headshot by Quicker, trying to stay alive. He has done so well. Is he going to be able to stay alive much longer? The answer is no. Nelson and Brain going to come in there, clean things up. And that lead is being extended by VWS, 56 and rising to Infused to 34 as we come up to the 7-minute mark. Melon is the first guy there, though. He's going to get taken down. The second shot by Robs. And is it going to be cleaned up? Yes, it is by Lewis. And it is going to be Infused with control. Quicker with a very nice push. He's going to get the spawn down that side. And they're going to move back around to help out his team, but Rob's going to try to punch through.
So far, I mean, their rotations have been so much better. Even looking at the scoreboard, you can actually see Brain dropping 14 and 8. But the fact that you've got Infused getting every single one of those rotations means it's irrelevant.
Well, the rotations are really not paying off for them at the minute, though, because they are definitely behind.
Well, that's the interesting thing here. You gotta say, Infused has got the better rotation. They're hitting it every single time, but for some reason they're just not holding it very long.
It's a scary thought because if VWS get those rotations down, Infused are in a lot of trouble. They have caught up just a little bit though. Yeah, some good points in the back here. Only 25 seconds remaining on that, and they've caught up by about 10-15 or so. With Brain though, they're going to try and punch through, and VWS do now have some control. He can maybe pick up a couple of kills. Does get the one with the headshot there, but does get taken down by Lewis. Seeing Robs on the rotate, going to try and clean things up, try and help his team out as they push towards the next point. Not going to happen.
Again, I mean, that's a rotation for Infused once again. How on earth they're behind when they keep getting this rotation? I'm not entirely sure. That's every single hill so far. Every single hill they've had the rotation, and they're still behind.
They're not locking it down whatsoever. It'll be interesting to see what Gunchi's got to say about this at some point. But as we said, we are seeing Infused with a rotation. That's a nice by Lewis in the middle of the map there as well. 17 and 13 from him does go down to Brain though. At the moment, the lead is still in VWS's hands. They just momentarily did have control. Currently contesting. Melon is going to go down. VWS are going to be the guys that's going to come off better. 2 did go down. JT answering back with a 2-piece of his own, but he does go down to Brain. Currently, it is Quicker Than You all alone, sitting inside that hard point, trying to get his team caught back up. In the moment, picks up one. Is he going to pick up the second as well? Fantastic
really
work
play
by Quicker Than You. He's managed to stay alive. Not going to pick up a third, but that's really locked it down for his team there.
He's really made a lot of kills on the hills, and he's continuing to do it. He is being a trouble here for VWS. I'm actually jumping on board with Brain because he's 21 and 14, so he's dropping big numbers, and he's got to be one of the reasons that his team are actually staying into this as well. He must be just making a lot of kills there. As you can actually see his actual captures is 6, so he's got the most on his squad at the same time. You will actually see Infused take the lead here slightly, but it's pretty much neck and neck as we go into the second part of rotations, and this is where I'm going to ask. Gunchi, we're going into the second set of rotations. What's been happening so far?
It's crazy at the minute. I mean, I don't know how Infused aren't winning. Winning by more points, to be honest. They've won every single rotation, and they're just not locking it down. I mean, on the other team you got on VWS, you got Realize, who's an anchor player. Literally, all he does is anchor. And if he was beating them on the rotations, VWS would be winning this by a lot. But the only reason it's close is because Brain is just going off.
He certainly is. Well, we can actually jump on board. We're on quick with New. I'm going to jump on board with Brain for a little while. We haven't seen that much of him, even though he is dropping the numbers. Trying to put some shots down here, running into the hill with a bow, just trying to keep pressure up for his squad.
He's done so well, actually, stay alive there.
Just trying to quickly get a clip back in so we can continue killing people here, but he will actually stay alive. How on earth has he stayed alive so long in that middle hill? Both teams neck and neck again.
Well, as we do go back to the middle rotation, it's pretty much as it was at the start of the game at 0-0. Both teams really fighting it out here. Brain picks up another kill to his name, and he's going to get inside the harbor. 26-19, very impressive from him so far. Trying to push the objective there, just trying to hold down the spawns. Not going to quite happen for them, but they are going to try and rotate around. And it is going to be Infused once again. They're first, but they are once again behind.
There you go, Brain Realize they're going to make 2 kills. They're actually going to try and get through this here. A little bit dangerous for Infused. They are going to be pinched. They need to make these kills very important. Lewis, can he stay alive? No, will go down. VWS sweep them out again. And it's just a big play by that team. I mean, to lose a rotation like that and then just sweep them out, there's something wrong with your gameplay if you cannot hold that rotation for more than 10 seconds.
Yeah, and it just shows maybe something they need to look to improve on, because realistically, they're not getting the kills down inside those hard points they need to. They need that AR guy to really be stacking up and making the kills where they're needed. Yes, they are making the kills. Yes, they are getting the rotations, but they need to hold it down. They need to make that advantage they get by getting there first actually count, because at the minute they're not. That's really nice by JT, though.
It is. It's just trying to hold it down for a squad. And I said they have to get time on the board now. They keep fighting for position here in Infused, and they're winning the position, but they're actually not making anything out of it here. Lewis gets the rotation kill again. They have the rotation. That's every single one so far this map. They've actually managed to lock in, and yet they're still behind.
You know, maybe something to touch on? It might be VWS's pushing power, their impact power inside the hard points. When they push in there, and they've done the exactly same thing again, they may just be breaking that fantastically well. We may be taking something away from them there, but at the same time, we've heard what Gunshy said. As a team, if you're getting around to those points first, you should be winning every single hard point in terms of you should be getting more points. But Bryn, 32 and 27 at the moment, and Lewis is going to pick up a few more for his own as well. Fantastic work by him. He's going to lock that one down, and hopefully Infused are going to try and get some points back on the board here. And my God, great cover. Alive? Great cover by JT. There's going to pick up 2. But here we go. It does seem as if VWS are closing in again.
Well, you can see they're on to them at the moment here. VWS are ahead. And here comes the rotation. Once again, it will be Infused who are going to go for that early rotation. They realistically, this is where they can make a difference, right? On this hill, you want to at least make it so you're slightly ahead, so you don't have to worry about the scrap time, so you can get that early rotation for this last hill. The last hill on this map, you can hold for some decent time, especially if you push the lanes out. So we can see here, like I said, Infused have got this rotation, and they're going to wait to see it. Can they hold this for some time,
well, there you go, there you go. They've done it a lot better this time. They've got their ARs in the right places, and they're making the kills that they need to. That's very unfortunate. Nonsen did take down JT, but it was cleaned up. But they've held that for some time. They got there first, they got set up, and maybe it was just VWS not giving them enough time. We'll never know. But on board with Brain now, going to try and break through, and he is just about not going to make that first kill. His teammate does, though. Still on board with Brain. That's a really good break. He's actually managed to stay alive with just that little bit of time that he needs to. Takes down Lewis, going to look for his second as well, and maybe his third. Going to try and stay alive. He did so well there, actually, just really taking away from Infused what lead they were trying to get there. Nelson's going to go in there as well, and he's going to get taken down. At the moment, though, it's not looking great for VWS, although they were momentarily in the lead 1 minute ago, and it is going to be Infused with the lead.
Surely Infused can't get this rotation. I mean, there's no way they're going to win this rotation again. I mean, Rob's gone down. They've done it again. It's already Infused are in that point, and they have it for the last hill. They are just ahead. It's 13 seconds. They're going to have to deal with Quick. He's going to be there looking for the guy in Obs. He actually managed to get away. Going to try and turn around Dirt. No, down he goes. And here comes the pushing power of VWS once again. They are pushing in now, trying to take these points away, but 3 kills go down by Infused. Melon cleaning it up. This is theirs now to lose.
Yeah, I'll be very, very surprised if they manage to lose this one now. Melon really holding things down fantastically well, and that's nearly all she wrote, but they can just hold it down for a few more seconds. Infused holding it down and not doing what they did in the first 10 hard points that we've seen. They held down those last 2 fantastically well. They're going to walk away with map number 1.
Yeah, they certainly are. We'll go in their favour, but being honest with you, Ton, I'm actually going to say I don't think they deserve to win it.
No,
I'm going to put that out there. I don't think that was a deserved win. I don't think if you can win, I mean, the only difference was the rotations. That's it. I mean, if VWS had won, maybe 1 rotation at all the entire game, it would have been a very different scoreline.
I'm going to agree with you, because when you get those sort of advantages in hardpoint, yes, okay, right, we're a little bit behind, but we're going to get the rotation around here. You should be able to lock it down, and maybe it's just...
I don't know. It was a very interesting game.
It could be a multitude of things.
Gunch, I'm going to ask you about this. Gunch, what did you think of that?
If I was on the team, I'd be so mad. They literally won 9 out of 10 rotations. Literally, like they only won by what, 40 points, 30 points.
Yeah,
it's just crazy. They should have won by at least 100. But fair play to the VWS for sticking in there and fighting to the end. They did well, but realize as a sub, and he's not had a great game, to be honest. I mean, to be honest, he needs to get rid of this whole attitude of playing like a statue AR player. It just doesn't work on this game. You need to be more aggressive. You need to be more versatile. You need to be able to pull out a sub sometimes. And I just don't think he's got it in his head that he needs to be doing that. He just seems to be playing like he did a year ago or so. They need to adapt.
Something to note towards the end, Brain definitely dropped off a little bit there. He had a very, very positive
very powerful start, yeah.
And now ending up -2. Maybe it's something to talk about as well, you know. They were in the lead every single time he was positive.
They were relying on just being a better slaying team and going in there. I mean, you saw, people like Lewis. Lewis was just holding them off over and over again, and they were making sure that you couldn't actually kind of break into that hard point. It's only when they start to do that, when Quicker Than You, for me, And even though his stats are, they're what 28 to 27, it's actually more to do with the fact that he was making very important kills in the hills. You saw him pick up 2 pieces, 3 pieces. It was just being a nuisance. They couldn't kill him.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, they probably would have got broken in a lot of hills. But from Infused perspective, like, they get control of a hill, and then they hold the first 10, 15 seconds, and then they'd all be separated. They had nowhere to be seen to trade kills, and it's like, that's what you need to be doing at the crucial time, around 20 seconds into holding a hill. If you need to get them kills, you need to be out-trading the other team, and then they can hold down another 20 seconds, and they've won that hill, and then they can concentrate on another rotation.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about that entire thing was there was a few mistakes from both teams that we actually saw. I mean, like you said, Infused, you don't win a rotation and then somehow lose more points on the hill.
Yeah.
And it's not just once or twice, because that can happen, right? A hill can break.
Oh, yeah.
But to happen every single hill, apart from the last few, it was actually ridiculous. And then VWS, same problem. They had a mistake with the fact that they weren't winning those rotations at all. So both teams have got something they can actually improve on.
It was the most bizarre game of hardpoint I've seen in a while. A lot to be improved on in that game, but hopefully they can sort it out for this next hardpoint. Should be interesting.
Okay, well, let's jump into this next hardpoint then, and we're going to have a chance to see whether or not those teams can actually, kind of get past those mistakes and improve on what they're actually doing here. It's going to be Retreat. We're going to jump on board this time with VWS, and I'm going to start on board with, let's have a quick flick through of what they're actually using. I'm on board with Robs.
Well, straight off the back here, let's see if Brain can do what he did in the previous map, because, I mean, this guy, he was really going off for his team. In the end, though, just dropped off that little bit, and maybe that could have cost him. But at the same time, Infused really should have had that one wrapped up a lot quicker than they did. Let's see if they can do the same and walk away with the win, but maybe a little bit.
Both teams fighting for position there. Neither of them want to go anywhere near that hill to begin with.
Yeah, it's a funny one, this middle hill, because there is literally very, very little cover. Just so many different ways you can get shot. So, 8 points on that straight off the bat there is not actually a bad thing. Coming in from Infused, very good start,
However,
couple of kills.
The early rotation here will just be very, very effective, whoever can get it. And it might actually be VWS with the spawn, which is what they have actually gone for. Now, they can challenge here because they don't really want to give away the extra 15 points because it will be a big lead for them. So they have to keep challenging, but at the same time, they have to be aware that they've actually just spawned out and they don't want to lose this rotation. Well, they've lost it. They've actually lost the rotation as well.
So there you go. Infused the first ones there once again, and a very, very command lead straight from the bat there. And maybe just going to try and do something a little bit different. I mean, as we did talk about, their previous win was not convincing by any means. Not as convincing as it should have been anyway, but on board with Brain now. Let's see what VWS can do to answer back. They're inside that hard point. And they're going to try and get some points on the board. There's only the 3rd, 4th, and 5th point coming in there.
Well, this is the same story as last game. I mean, Infused had it, and then all of a sudden they lose it straight away. But can we see VWS actually try to push this out a little bit now? They're going to be trying to just hold this down and get that points back they actually lost on that middle hill, just to try and bring it back to even here. I mean, like I said, didn't get the rotation, going to need this one. Wouldn't be surprised to actually see him play for the scrap points, simply as they're just not winning the rotations. Why even bother?
Well, on board with Brain now. Just trying to scout some kills. Yeah, shut down there by JT. Couple of kills for him, and really a bit of a slow game from both teams here. Couple of kills going to come down poolside now, though.
They're going to have this rotation locked in. This is the first time we've really seen them in a position set up to actually do this.
Well, then, that's a worry for Infused, because they begin the rotations and just narrowly winning. If they're not getting the rotations, they're going to be in trouble.
Well, I'm on board with Brain now. Brain's going to try and hold it down. We saw him have a really good first game. And he's just trying to lock down the spawn, keep them spawning cave, make sure they can kind of hold this. Hopefully get them to spawn pool if they can do it. But no, there we go. Infused, wow, look at that. All of it went down super quickly. And now you're actually going to see Infused are going to be in this hardpoint. Gunch, I'm actually going to bring you in here. So far, what you've seen here, what do VWS maybe need to improve on?
This map's more easy to lock down hills. It's a lot easier to set up as a team. So obviously rotations is very important, especially on this map. They just need to lock down the rotations and out-trade kills in the hill, to be honest. I mean, they need to group together more. But Infused are doing a great job of just breaking hills as a team.
Yeah, they've just done that again there. I mean, it's something that maybe the shoe's sort of on the other foot this time around. We are seeing Infused not necessarily get there first, which you say is a much more important factor in this map, but they seem to be making it work because they are in the lead by about 20 points or so with 7 minutes remaining. Melon, top of the leaderboard there, 12 and 11 from him.
Oh, he's actually on a little bit of a streak now, so we're going to keep on board with him, see what he can do, trying to put some more shots down. And it does seem like up close, Infused are just better. I do think that, come face to face, they've got players like Quicker and Melon, who we both know are fast and frantic players. They do seem to have that advantage in that department.
Yeah, well, on board with Melon now. Let's see what he can do from this position. Going to get 1 kill, going to get the second as well. Lewis is going to clean one for his name as well. Rob's trying to break that duck that his team have seemed to have slipped into. And they are going to try and get some kills back onto the board at some point. 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. And they've closed the gap.
Brain just trying to stay alive here for a second, trying to actually make sure he doesn't lose this for his squad. They really want these points back, and you know what? They kind of needed to concentrate on the rotation for this one. This next hill is a nightmare if you do not get in a position to at least trade the kills away on the rotation to stop them locking it down. Because here we go. Look how far they've now spawned out. It's going to be a marathon for them actually to get in here.
Well, on board with JT now.
It's going to be quicker. They're going to quicker first.
Quicker. Let's see if he can hold things down.
He really wants to stay alive here, but he won't do for very long. He was just trying to keep them kind of spawning out, and that's going to be Lewis on the hill. Lewis backs one. There's going to be another one with him. His teammate will actually pick that up as well. And you see players coming in for the pinch here. Quicker than he's going to try and help his teammates that will go away. Teammates now coming in. Can Quicker do the magic work? Going to see one. Not going to get that one as well. And VWS will actually sweep out Infused once more. And they really should have held that down a little bit stronger there. I mean, they just got pinched.
Really good work by Brain, though. Currently on a 6 streak. Nelly made it a 7. His teammate cleaning up that kill. Should be able to make another one here, and he is just about going to make it. Yes, he does. 7th streak for him at the moment. It's nice to see players heating up here at Gfinity. That's going to be not the 8th, but he does do very, very good work. 20 and 14 at the moment with 6 captures to his name. And he is definitely the MVP for VWS so far, playing a fantastic game here.
Well, that hill's actually got them a lot of time here. It's now 96, and it should be about 93 when they switch back over. But yeah, big kills. I'm going to stay on board with Brain since he's still alive and on an 8 streak, currently dropping 21 of 14. And we see him come around here. He's going to be just looking for a few kills. I think he might actually be able to pick up Melon here. Is he going to see him? No! Oh my goodness! Turn and burn!
Wow, that really does just streak down. Very, very nice turn out by Melon there. 24-19 from him. Nothing to be laughed at from his score point of view as well. And Melon's going to make another kill there. Fantastic headshot. He's going to make the 3rd. And
I think he made it. I think he made it.
He made it pretty much straight after he got
one
killed.
bullet in. The guy must have been really weak, but they got that call out obviously from his teammates. Lewis though just picks up 3 straight away, and Infused is really trying to turn this up in terms of slaying here. Still going to be fighting over this middle hill, so it's not the biggest of victories for them, especially on this map. You can get back to that hard point in about 5 seconds when you respawn, but they are in a position now. They've got a decent enough spawn that they can rotate out of this. You are going to see VWS actually start to spawn out, and they will be losing this total rotation.
Well, there you go. Infused in control again, and this game has been a little bit messier than the previous one in terms of what's actually going on, like the trends where their teams are necessarily getting in there quicker and whether they're actually breaking through. This one's just been a very strange one because both teams seem to be doing both things equally.
Here we go. Quicker though, it's going to be on the hill now. It's going to be looking for some players to kind of take down, and he's very much the one of he's a punch and move player, and players like that can do very well, especially in Advanced Warfare. Another player who does that extremely well is Karma, who will basically just take shots at everybody and stay alive as long as possible and keep out of reach.
Well, on board with Quicker, just really holding it down for his team. Now, they're trying to push out Brain. It's going to make a 2-piece in the middle of the map there. That's very important for his team as they do now push in. That's 4 men of VWS are going to enthrall themselves onto that turtle hard point, and they are all going to go down for Infused. Brain picking up another 2-piece, 28 and 20 from him in the moment on a 4 streak, and this guy just seems to get streaks on streaks. It has literally, maybe he doesn't get a couple of kills for a few deaths, and then he'll pick up like 8 without dying. So it's insane from him to see how well he does to actually stay alive, touching on what you said about Quicker Than You.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm really impressed with Brain's snapshot. He seems to have that on the lock. And just keeps picking up people really, really quickly here. But Infused will have first control of the next hill in lobby. And it's going to be looking like they're trying to hold this here. However, they aren't spawning in the position they want to, and they are in danger of losing this spawn if they don't make these kills. However, they are going down. JT desperately needs to stay alive here. Lewis will pick up 1. He will go down as well. Lewis is now going to challenge, and they will actually win this. They have won this trade. They have kept the spawn. So they're going to be able to get more points on this for at least a little while longer.
Lewis has done so well to stay alive. They're 28 and 17 from him. Yes, okay, he doesn't have as many kills as Melon, but he has not died anywhere near as many times as him. So very, very good work by Lewis. He seems to be picking up kills when he needs to and staying alive when he needs to inside that hard point. And that's what Infused are doing just a little bit better, but Quicker Than You really heating up inside here at the moment. Contested, he does go down. Very, very good work from him. And very good work by VWS to clear that one out. They've got a pretty bad deficit to come behind from, but we know on this very, very last rotation, you can get a full 60 without blinking. It is pretty much, if you can get a lock down and hold it down, and your ARs have their shots on point, you should be able to hold it.
Well, Gunch, how likely do you think a comeback is in here, and how do they do it?
It's going to be very tough. This P4 hills are always like a massive hill. You can't just unlock them out, but rotation from P5 Let's go, and he can drop 40s very easily, because at the minute, as you can see, he's 19-32, he's not having the best game. but he's renowned for literally dropping many kills, and he's just not doing it at the minute, and it's really setting his team back. As far as Infused are going, Lewis is playing his life really well. He's giving his team good spawns, and Melon's just going off at the minute. He's got 38 kills. He's about to drop a 40.
Well, it's interesting you kind of said that. I was looking, and I did say earlier on, I think maybe the SMGs and the up-close battle going on between these two squads, I think Infused have it, and I think that's when Nolson is really struggling. When you've got people like Melon and Quicker playing the way they are, which is that fast frantic, and they're just, like I said, Melon's on an absolute tear, who we will jump on board to in a minute. No
20-point game.
Yeah, it is close. But I don't know, whoever gets this hill, they can lock it down. I've seen flawless hills on this before. I've seen Epsilon do a flawless hill on this one. It's not the easiest thing to do, though.
Well, let's see if they can manage to hold this down on board with Melon now, and it is actually going to be VWS who are going to break in there. They can get some points on the board. Brain setting up here. They're only 10 points behind with 40 to go, and this is definitely within their back pockets to try and do something about it, but Luce is going to shut down Brain. Now Nelson left only with one team here, currently contested. Infused going to be able to break through. Realize picks up a two-piece, and not quite going to happen for Nelson. Melon's going to come in
neck
there.
and neck.
But there you go, VWS are just going to take the lead. 20 seconds to go.
They are going to get this, and they got so many points already on this hill. It's going to be a big break here for Infused. Can they manage to get into it? Rob's going to try and deny them here. There will be a kill picked up. Quicker and Melon, though, both coming in. They're now trying to get on the half point, and it should be all done. I think that's just out of realms of possibility. I think it's done. It's very, very close. We're just going to let it tick down. No, that's done. It will be VWS who will eventually win that map, bringing it to 1-1 by 1 point. What a ridiculous finish to the hard point there. VWS clinch it out in the dying seconds.
Absolutely fantastic work by them there. Because I was saying, you know, watch for that last hard point, because every single time we can see players, if they can... Right, okay, yes, the rotation is very, very good to have on that one, because if you can get there first, as said, you can lock it down. But they won the final few scrap points on the previous hard point. So they could leave one guy there, they sent 3 over, and those 3 guys had to break through 4, and they did it. Yeah. Infused just didn't necessarily set up as well as they could have. I think... I don't know. I think Infused could have probably set up a little bit better, but it was very, very good from VWS.
For me, that last hill was quite important. In the terms of it being quite important was VWS didn't actually push out the hill. They didn't push out the lanes, and somehow they still held it. Infused had a really good opportunity to pinch it and kind of flood, because VWS they're all in the hill. They were all around that hill. They were very close. They didn't really push it out halfway through. They just held it, and you could see that was a desperate hold. And they almost lost it. If Infused had got a really good pinch on, that would have been done, right, Gunch?
Yeah, Infused were just running in 1 by 1, and it's one of the most frustrating things being in the team, to see your teammates just running in 1 by 1. You just need to hold for a minute, wait around the hill, and as soon as everyone's in position, just count to 3, and then on 3, everyone just flood the hill, hit it at the same time, because they're not going to be able to look every single way. But I've seen it many times where the rotation from 4th to 5th hill, people just lock it down. They'll get the scrap time on the 4th hill, and on the 5th hill, they'll just ride the momentum, going all the way through to the end, and they'll just look at that. We've won by 1 point from just doing that, riding the momentum.
Let's talk about the key players in that match. I mean, yes, Melon did go off. He had a big game here, but I mean, Brain eventually kind of picked it up. You have a look at his stats as well. I mean, that's a 1.4 ratio, and we saw him actually this time getting those rotations. Something VWS were a lot better on. We're actually hitting rotations first.
Yeah, which is going to scare Infused, as we did talk about Infused. Yes, they did win the previous map, but they had every single rotation, and it was a little bit too close for what sort of control they had over the map previously. Now that VWS are answering back, they're saying, okay, actually, you know, we can rotate as well. We can push around there and actually get to those hills just as well as you can. That's going to cause Infused problems.
Yeah. It certainly was. I said there was for me, it was quite scrappy at points between both teams. Neither team ever looked like they were the dominant team. And like I said, and that's what the scoreboard showed right at the end. We said, can VWS come back? And they basically, P4, they were looking to just try and tie it up as much as possible. And they got within realistic, what was it, 13 seconds going into that last hill. And then they locked the hill down, and we just saw, I was like, well, it's going to take at least 10 seconds to break this hill. So it should go really equal here. Then they managed to take off the first one. That was their opportunity. It was not pushed out. Infused could have taken that last hill. They had the opportunity twice. Twice they could have flooded it, and twice they failed. They went in a little bit too scrappy. VWS, they could have thrown it away by not pushing out the hills. Just managed to hold on.
Yeah, and it was great work by especially Brain picking up those many kills. I mean, we do talk about stats on everything, but it's important.
Gunch hates stats. He was talking earlier. Yeah, hates them. Absolutely hates them.
It is important to see players on your team dropping 41 kills.
Yeah, it shows who's going off. But at the end of the day, as everyone knows, it's a team effort. And I mean, you could have someone only dropping 25 kills, but he could have made a massive 2-piece to win you the game. Like a lot of people don't see that, and they just look at the stats. That's it. But no, I mean, obviously when you drop a 40 and your rest of your team are dropping 30, 20 kills, I mean, you are carrying your team kind of. But No, I think VWS just ride the momentum in that map and came away on top.
Yeah, for me, it was more the improvement in the way they were playing the game. Clearly, Solar is not their map, just simply because of the way they were doing the rotations. But this map, they had it. I mean, you saw Brain, he went straight for that, got that case one, he was locking it in, and we actually saw them get more time on that hill simply because they actually had the spawn this time.
Yeah.
They won that first set of kills, which they've done almost every rotation, but this time, because they actually got the spawn first, they actually were able to get even more time. And it actually counted for something this map as well, especially when it's a 1-point game.
VWS as well, like, I think AR maps are better suited for them. I mean, they got Realize and Brain's been going off in these first 2 maps, and AR maps are really suited for them, especially on like the hills that are AR dominated. They've that's where they've come back and proved to be their strong point. And Infused are more like they play with subs a lot more often and prefer aggression in your face and flooding hills. But no, on this next map we've got Biolab uplink, and it's going to be a 50-50 on this one. I don't know who's going to win it.
No, I agree with you. For me, this is really difficult to judge, mainly because I think when you go inside or you go purple or you go bio, that's where you're going to see a bit of sub-dominance. But everywhere else, with the sight lines, you're going to be relying on the bows, you're going to be relying on everything else. Interesting point to note as well with the maps is the players, the teams that pick those maps won those maps. Which means technically, if we're going to continue on with this, VWS should take this.
Well,
that's just I'm just putting that out there. That's technically what should happen.
Yeah, they've obviously picked up, I think, Bio for a reason, because that's their best map out of all the 3 maps. So we should expect VWS to come through here, but I don't know. Infused have been looking strong, to be honest. I reckon their team has been a lot better than VWS.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. It's interesting to see, like I said, that kind of fight between where the drone control is really going to determine this. For me, better ARs on the guys from VWS, better SMGs for the guys in Infused, and depending on, it's all about dictating where you take those fights. If Infused can keep it up close and personal, they'll win. Yeah. If not, I think they may actually just be kind of pipped out here. But we're going to jump into this game here, and let's go on board with Nolson first of all.
All right, straight off the bat here, SMG in hand. We're really just going to try and push purple there very, very quickly. Not really going to get anything with it. Maybe a little bit of pressure, but Rob's going to come in there with 2 kills of his own. Does go down, just causing disruption. And it is going to be VWS with the control of the purple area straight off the bat there. But quicker than you is going to take down Nolson, trying to get something back for Infused.
Well, you see Rob's here just trying to get purple here. And I said, it's all about drone control. Nobody has it at the moment. Rob's is going to try and get it. Going to use that armor to try and stay alive here with his team. Has a few teammates with him. He's actually going to throw that in for control here. And if he can do something, he might be able to. But I'm sure that's going to be picked up. It is. Quicker's going to have it, and he is going to try and reset it away. It will go all the way home here. Good play by Quicker. He was the only man left in a position to actually do something with that. And it's one of those ones where you've got to get control of that drone because you need that armor to get rid of it.
The thing is, because they've pushed them inside the VWS, now they've got an opportunity to try and get control of purple again, which they do have. They do push. They haven't actually been able to do anything with it. That could be bad for them.
Oh, I was about to say, is he going to wrap that? But he isn't. His teammates aren't in the position for the wrap.
If you look at the spawns, it would have been a mistake anyway. But yeah, unfortunate for Infused. They have been pushed in for pretty much the whole of this map so far. But can they answer back now, trying to get some control? And they do have some guys around that area. Melon can make that kill. He does so, but then taken down by his teammate. And not really much happening in terms of...
No, both these teams really are fighting for a clean run. They don't want to take it too early and worry about it. Like I said, we were talking about a potential wrap there from GT earlier on, but he wasn't going to do it in that position. And that's the way both teams are playing. They're feeling each other out in the way that they have to make sure they know what they're doing when they pick it up.
Almost with Quicker now. Wrong side of things, if anything, but it does get shut down.
A lot of flanks coming in,
yeah,
actually.
Wow, oh, 4 down. Wow, that just happened very quickly. That's going to be a dunk. Surely the spawns are going to get locked down.
Oh, this might be bad. Quicker spawn could actually stop this. No, he's actually not being able to do that. And he's going to go in hands of Nolson. Nolson will pick this one up. Surely they're not going to stop him. He's going for the safe one. And you know what? I feel like they could have potentially made a little bit more out of that.
If you're a VWS player, you're disappointed that you had 4 men down, you had people in advanced positions. And that, for me, is a highlight of the teamwork, not necessarily being as good as Infused. I think if we'd seen Infused in that position, we would have seen a dunk and then potentially another one because they would have been able to set up very, very nicely for that.
Here we go, on board with JT now, looking for purple control. They need to find one more player. It's going to be Brain. Brain just trying to hold them down. If he can stay alive here, he's just completely stopping all of Infused. It was a good distraction. It's now going to give the opportunity for VWS to get in a good position to slow this one now. On board with a drone carrier. It will be Quicker than you who has control. And he's actually going to be hit there, but the armor will save him. But no, down he goes. Nolson's going to now rip it away. He's not in a position, though. Can he make this hit? Yes, he can. 2 punches now for Nolson. Nolson is in a position for the easy one, or is he going to go for the pass? The pass is going to come in to Robs, and Robs Robs will slam it home. Big turnaround play there from the guys on VWS.
I mean, Gunchi, if you want to just run us through what they did right there, because I mean, it seemed like everything, if anything.
Yeah, they cleared out purple straight away. The purple kills are literally they're the kills that like start the play basically. And then I don't know, someone was top roof and made a split spawn, so Quicker spawned behind someone and could have done something about it. But no, it's just the slaying powers coming out now with the ARs from VWS, and they're taking this game.
Well, jumping on board with Robs here, and you see the 1 point did get scored there. So Infused do have 1 to 3. But you know, you in that much power position, they had, they were going for it. They were ready and looking. Nelson just turned it around. He got the first kill, against Armor. Got that second kill in purple, which that was the danger kill. And then all of a sudden, oh my goodness, Robs is going to get one. Can he see any more? No, he's going to go down as well. Look at this. They are clearing out purple here, VWS. They're waiting for complete purple control before they actually try to pull.
That's nice because they get control and then they send Brain around the back there just trying to cause some disruption. But then they lose purple control because Brain's not really in a position to do anything about it. Does go down. Melon picking up a 2-piece of his own, Infused with some control now. They can make this count. There should be another point on the board.
Man, looking for it. Although he doesn't have support here, he's going to have to run away. He's relying on that armor now. I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually try and reset it. No, he's going to put it down. Can he get this one as well? Melon just completely outplayed him. So now, drone gone down again. He's going to pick that up. That's re-armor. Doesn't have the support here. Too many players for him to really attempt this. And he will go down because of it. And Quicker, he's going to try and do that. They are trying to slay them out now. Quicker's desperately trying to slay that. Will be picked up. Realize he's going to go for the reset, surely, and he has managed to get it away.
Very nice.
He committed there. That was a risk. If he messed it up, he could have just gone down with too many players in his base.
Well, Nelson picks up 1 or 2 around Satellite. And I think that's going to be all she wrote for the first half, unless we see a very, very quick push. 15 seconds just coming up on your clock there now. Quickly New has picked up a 2-piece though, and not really anything concrete from either teams to get anything pushing in here. 10 seconds remaining, nothing going to happen, and that's going to be 3-1 going into the second half, and VWS are going to be in the lead.
So, Gunchi, I kind of want to talk about the way these two teams are actually playing Uplink at the moment. I think there's a lot of... They're fighting for control a lot.
Yeah. Slowly.
And I think that's actually going against Infused.
Yeah, it's on this map now, it's played a bit differently. Like when we were in America, we learned that wrapping the ball on this map is so much better. Like say if you're spawning blue side and you pick up the ball and you have control of purple, just wrap the ball around through your spawn and go the green platform side. And it is a very successful route of going that way now. And I saw Robs had an opportunity to wrap it, but he didn't take that opportunity. He just threw it off the map. So yeah, I'd like to see the teams wrapping the ball a lot more because it does pay off.
Well, jumping on board with JT here, and I really would like to see Infused be a lot more aggressive, if anything. They seem to be playing well and where they can play that fast, especially with Melon just constantly just throwing himself at the enemy team. I want to see his team come with him. He's actually going to pick up another kill there. They are now going to take drone control. Melon continuing to push forward. They have the blockers as well. Melon will go down. JT now in control. His teammates, like I said, they should really be pushing here. They're not looking for any control.
But this is nice from VWS because they're just sitting back there a little bit and they're saying, right, okay, right, come on, see what you can do, see if you can push through us, because at the minute they're not really doing anything with it. Infused are sitting, they're being a little bit tentative, and now it's not going to pay off for them. JT is surely going to go down. I mean, the reset's not going to come in either, so that control is going to be in and around that area.
That's actually fine for them. I mean, that's actually a decent position.
Right. Yeah, it's going to work out okay because Lewis can push in here and maybe cause some problems inside. Purple manages to stay alive, great cover by his teammates, and Infused really the guys with the control.
I said the most interesting thing here is I believe if Infused just mixed it up with them, it'd be a lot easier. They're actually playing to their strengths. And Nelson has ripped it away again. Could have run away with it. It wouldn't be the first time we actually saw a player just run and get away, but it is going to drop here and it's going to be back in the hands of Infused. Like I said, I believe Infused right now need to be more aggressive. They have to mix it up. If they're going to slow play this against VWS, VWS have that in lock. They love that. They're quite happy for you to sit back and rely on their ARs to just pick up kill after kill. And especially when you've got Melon and Quicker both running SMGs, then they're going to come against, what, 3 bows I think I saw when they started out? Nelson, oh no, they're actually going to be running 2 SMGs and 2 bows.
Well, at the moment we're seeing Realize 9 and 14 at the moment. Obviously it isn't all about stats, but you need that guy who's going to lock things down for you to really start putting up a few numbers. And
oh, he hasn't managed to get it again. Surely not Quicker.
Just about shut down there. And that's fantastic work. I'm not even quite sure what was even going on there for a second. Both teams saw.
How did they let Quicker get through?
I don't know.
There was just streams of fire coming at him in the air. And he just went, no, I'm still going to just continue to come through and pick this up again. Quicker now. He's going to come forward. His teammates still not pushing forward. Nobody is trying to clear the way for him. They're waiting to try and make a few picks, and it's not working.
they just don't seem to be aggressive enough when they get control. They need to sort of take a hold of the satellite and do something with it. You know,
I mean,
take the initiative.
Doing what they're doing works. I just don't think it works for their team. I mean, Lewis, they're actually, I think JT's their only bounce. They're actually running 2 SMGs and 2 Battle on VWS and 3 SMGs on Infused. So that they should be being aggressive. They should be trying to, you know, get closer. But they're not. They're actually just playing straight into VWS's hands over and over again.
The thing is, when you haven't got that AR player up at Snow's side, then there's nothing you can really do because 3 SMG is going to push in there. And if you've got an AR sitting up top, you're all going to get wiped out because you've got nothing to really combat him with.
Thought Realize killed his own teammate there, but he didn't. Now he's looking. Now I've got this drone in a dangerous position. Realize just wants to stay alive. I don't think he's really looking for this push here. He's just trying to kind of distract them here. His teammate will go in. Brain is going to have it. He is going to go down. This could be a wrap here. Quicker should wrap this. If they can make that kill up top, which they have done, he's going to go for the pass. This should be a dunk.
Yeah.
Not really anybody in the position to stop it. Lewis going to burst out here. Going to use that armor. Going to stay alive, and they will manage to get that one. Good wrap. They made the right decision.
Yeah, and those are the things that they haven't been doing. They haven't been taking that initiative. They've been getting to the position where, yeah, okay, maybe we can do something about it. Okay.
I like that pass.
We're hesitating. But they didn't hesitate there. They thought, okay, we've got a couple down. Let's wrap it around. Pass comes in. 2 points. Easy as that. 3-3. 1 minute and a half to go.
Well, we are all tied up. Rob's just trying to take some shots here as well. Just trying to look for these purple kills. Very, very important. That is actually going to be played out. I do agree with that play here. They had no control.
Yeah.
They didn't have purple. They didn't have the bodies. Quickly, he's just going to try and stay alive. He's going to wait for that reset, and they're going to go again.
Well, he's doing a good job at the moment.
Lewis is hunting. He knows that somebody slipped.
Managing to stay alive inside there, but with Lewis.
There we go. That was a good play from Lewis, actually. The fact that he wrapped back and was determined to look for that person, that could have caused him so many issues that they didn't get it again. However, Realize and Brain teaming up to get this one here. Rob is going to go for it. That is the easy one. And with 45 seconds left to go, Infused are in a bad position to come back.
That's smart because they can just play the rest of this out now. 40 seconds.
I don't think they're going to. They're going to try and put this completely out. They have the advantage.
Yeah, they're in a good position, actually. Yeah, they can do something.
Brain is going to learn to make a few kills here. He's going to see one. No, down they go.
Sure.
And that may actually give it back to him. It could be a wrap here. It's only going to be Robs that stands in the way.
Needs to stay alive. He needs to stay alive here and not play too aggressively, or he's going to get really shut down very, very quickly. Quicker than you. He's going to get the kill, and then they really need to defend very, very quickly. But all the kills are going to come in. Infused here. Is the shutdown going to come in? No, it is not. He does make it.
He got it. He got it, and that's in the dying seconds. They went for the wrap, and you've got to say, the fact Infused managed to just completely sweep it for their team. Unbelievable from them.
I mean, Gunshi, we'll have a chat about this map in a second, but what did they do wrong there? Because it just seemed as if they did actually have the position to do something about it, and they were actually being aggressive to try and extend their lead VWS. But in the end, for me, I think, yes, Rob's got aggressive there to try and get rid of the control. You're shaking your head. Do you disagree with what he did there?
VWS just lost full composure in that play. Absolute travesty that was. No, I think it was Nolson. He picked up the ball at blue. There was one teammate ahead of him, and they were at 4-3. There was, what, 35, 40 seconds to go? He decides to go for a one-pointer. That is absolutely stupid. He should never have done that play. He should have played it for 15, got his team to Slayer, get into blue. If his team's in blue, Infused can't get the ball and go anywhere with it. It's just, he went for the one, he missed the one, and then the other team just wraps it. I mean, as you came into I cut in halfway through the game, I said about wrapping it. Infused got both their 2 pointers from wrapping the ball. That was just absolutely, that was so silly from VWS.
Yeah, because we were looking at it and we said, listen, you know, 45 seconds left to go. They actually took it again. I went, they could do something here. They lost that first player, so all of a sudden there's now 2 of them left, one of which has to carry the drone. Yeah. I said, at that point, you've got to slow it down somewhere, and Brain had to make a kill. Brain didn't make the kills he needed to. His teammate got swamped and threw it. That was the kill. He said, that was a key point. Even if they got it blue, that's a long way for them to go, all the way through purple bio or through circle if they wanted to go that way. That's a lot longer to go rather than throwing them for the wrap where you weren't spawned in a good position for, and they were quite happy, especially Infused. Infused was like, we're going to go through red.
Like, what you
close,
doing?
Yeah, close quarters in red, we're fine. Absolutely fine to go this way.
In that position, I suppose if they go for the 2-pointer, it puts it out of contention at that point.
Yeah.
But I suppose the 1-pointer is just, it's a
but
risk.
The 2-pointer or the 1-pointer wasn't really even on. Like, I mean, Brain was ahead of Nolson when he had the ball, and Brain he can't do anything more because he's just in a good position. It's Nolson's fault. He should never have gone for the 1-pointer in the first place. He should have just held it around blue, waited for his teammates to push up, and then if they get the kills, then they can go for a 2 or 1-pointer. But the fact is, there was nothing going on. He just decided to try and get lucky and just throw it in for a 1 when that was the option just wasn't on.
It was a hero play that cost them the game.
Yeah, it was a hero play. That was just literally, it was stupid.
I mean, you look at it from the other hypothetical, right? Say at that point, they lost the control, right? It was the drone was blue, they lost control. From there, Infused either have to wrap it, which takes forever from that position, which means that they could have been going against the setup. They could have gone circle, which means they go for an easy one through buy. I mean, it's at no point is it a lot easier than that. Basically, he gave them the best opportunity to get back into this game out of anything he could have done.
No, it was. I can't get over that play. When I saw it, I was like, "What are you doing? Why would you throw it in for
he's so clinical, isn't he? It's
Yeah,
just like, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, and I love it.
Honestly, that is shocking.
It wouldn't happen at TCM, would it?
Well, we'd be having an argument about that today, to tell you that for sure. That was shocking.
Awesome. Guys, we're going to go for a very quick break. We'll see you soon.
Wait, you're not on it? I'm on it.
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 Where are you at?
It just seemed to be the same story in that last minute. It was the same story as the first map. They were getting those rotations. They didn't do anything with it. Third map was I mean, I'll let you talk about that.
Well, the uplink, yes, the uplink was a very interesting map to say the least here. Infused were playing it slow, they didn't really have the advantage most of the way through. And then 2 wraps, of which the last wrap, I mean, VWS basically literally threw the ball away and gave it to Infused, and Infused ended up winning by 1 point. The most interesting thing for me about the games we've actually seen before is the fact that, in my mind, VWS could very easily be 3-0 up. I think Infused have had to fight and scrap for everything, but in my mind, VWS, I said a few changes here and there, should be 3-0 up.
To be honest, it's actually been a really good game so far. I mean, it's been really close in every single map. I mean, the uplink was pretty. It was. I wouldn't say boring. It was just a bit slow. They were just constantly fighting for control of purple, and then at the end, it was just bizarre.
Well, let's say the next match we have coming up, we have Uplink Detroit. Like I said, both these teams neck and neck. Uplink Detroit will be the next one here, and that will actually be picked by Infused. So Infused won that last one, which was actually picked by VWS. They won the Biolab. And then after that, the Search and Destroyers will be Riot and Terrace. How do you think the rest of this is going to go?
I'll let you go first, and I'll copy exactly what you said.
What, this map or the next 3?
The rest of it. Just sum it up for me.
So, judging by the last uplink, is this one again it's hard to call, but Infused have picked the map, so they should be favourites to win this one. And then Riot and Terrace S&D, I'm looking at Infused because their teamwork's been superior so far, and the fact that VWS are playing with a pickup, so they should pull through in them too.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, once again, Gunshi will be with us. He will be chiming in throughout this cast, but we will be taking over this ton. Me and you will be bringing you all the action here. It's going to be Uplink Detroit. And who do you want to jump on board with, Ton?
I've got a feeling we should go with Melon. He's really actually been the driving force. But every time we've seen actually Infused win the map, he seems to be the one that's making all the kills when he needs to. Lewis as well, doing great work. But so far, Melon, for me, really being the standout player.
Well, jumping on board with them here, he's actually going to jump into pit. He's going to be looking for a few kills in Garage, looking for Guz going to go down, realizes he's got his number straight away. Quicker than you will now challenge Brain, though, getting another kill. Realistically, quicker there needs to stay alive now because they are going to try and push this straight away. And you can see the pass has already come in. That should be a 2. Rob's going to put it straight in here. Those first kills went down, and I think, obviously, they were looking to try to get a bit of school control, but they ignored them. VWS just ran straight past them.
Yeah, they didn't even need to go through school. They didn't even need that control. They just did it very, very well. And what we see work on this map so well is the passing game. Yeah, there's so many times. I mean, we speak infamously of the COD champs where
he's just
that's
going
fantastic.
for it again.
That's very, very well played. You know, he didn't even need to pass it there, but fantastic work by Nelson. But what we see so much on this map when teams win and teams make it look good is from passing and school control, and that's what both these teams need to actually try and get a hold of.
Here we go, now fighting for control with the drone. Both teams actually slowed down a little bit since this game has started. Looking for it, Rob's trying to make a kill. Air combat going on, he is eventually going to be able to pick it up. It looks like the advantage again for the guys on VWS. And they should be able to now rip this drone and think about making a push in the school.
Well, here we go. Once again from VWS.
Realize
Very, very
it's gonna be
good
the blocker.
start. Yeah, and he needs to get a couple of kills here for them really to advance on. It's not going to happen for them. They have actually flooded around there, though. They have
Going
to be
outside again. This has worked for him so far. But look at that. There are 4 bodies around them. They still took quite a while to drop him.
I think Infused
That
really
could have been a 1 there if they took any longer.
They need to actually switch on here because at the moment they don't seem to be really in the game at all. A minute and a half gone, they're 4 points down. And they just didn't really seem likely to shut him down there. JT is going to get rid of that. His Brain does pick up 2 pieces. Very smart move. Does get the kill on the Brain. Does get taken down. So there you go. The ball is going to be reset into the center. 3 minutes remaining. Infused are behind.
Yeah, this is an Infused chance to kind of, in my opinion, pick themselves up. Ignore what happened to begin with. They got caught off the bounce. They weren't expecting VWS to come out the gates like that. This is their opportunity to try and get some control here, and they have to get control. Use that ability, use that slaying power up close. Just get control of this and actually stop them from doing it. Here we go, though. It's going to be played out. Nelson has said this time, not going to happen. Nelson did not want to play.
The thing is, I mean, obviously it's a small advantage, but they can play like that. They can get control in it and they can dictate this game as much as they want because they're in the lead.
Well, actually, see now, Melon waiting. Just trying to see if he can do anything here. He's going to pick this up this time. He's going to go for it very, very fast. I'm not sure that's actually going to work out, and it isn't. In my opinion, that was quite reckless. I would have liked to see them try to pick up a few kills. He didn't even really have that much support in player-wise. He only had 1 person with him. And he was just hoping to try and duke them, I'm suspecting.
They pushed the satellite up nicely there, but at the same time, they didn't do it efficiently. They got it up there, but it was not really in the fashion that they need to do it, where you got players there to support you and players to run in there behind you. If you do get taken out because they've been making the kills for you, but never really happened there for them. But Infused making a couple of kills there. Melon picks up 2, 7 and 5 from him.
We see now, realize may just have control. He is going to get it, looking to go for it. Oh, not going to make it. If he made it in a pit, he could have gone on one of those score runs and just relied on speed to try to get him through, but not going to happen. That drone still in pit, though. This is a dangerous time for the guys here. He's going to reset any second, though, so he's going to go back to mid-map if nobody picks it up. Oh, he's going to get it, and it just disappears, but he will go down. And it's actually got into the hands of Quicker. Quicker is going to play it out, just saying, you know what, we're behind, but I'm not going to go any further behind by being stupid and trying to do anything else but throw this away. But opportunity for score control here. Brain is pushing. He is going to go down as well. Nelson now going to try and grab it as well. Now, it's interesting to note here that both teams are really struggling to get a toehold in the later starters of this. Infused have actually come back a bit, and it seems to me they're actually hanging back a little bit more, playing a little bit more passively. As we come towards the end of this first half here, Guns, what do you think about the way both teams are playing?
Well, I just want to touch on the first 4-pointer off the rip, straight away off the rip. So, on Infused's spawn, like it's so crucial to hold school. If you don't have anyone there, you can give it up and you can lose so many points. And exactly what happened. VWS got off to an aggressive start. They got straight into school, got 2 kills, I think they did.
Yeah.
And then the ball guy just got a free run in, and it happened twice. And now they're finding themselves down by 4 points. But Infused coming into the second half, they need to keep it at like 4-0. That'll be fine going into second half because attacking school is a lot easier than going the other way. So I'm looking for Infused to come out on top in the second half, but at the minute, VWS are looking strong.
I think right now, Gunch, is that Infused are actually stacking school. They're continuously putting bodies in there and they're relying on trying to just lock it down. But at the same time, I mean, they got caught on that first time as well. I mean, they were looking to try and push school, but I mean, you can actually see one of their players did push pit and just got completely ignored.
They went
straight, yeah, they just went straight past them.
Yeah.
Well, as we do finish this round out, it is going to be VWS with
Okay,
the lead.
Go for the easy one. I don't know if he's got the time for it
That
actually to
looks
go in.
good.
Oh, he gets it. 4-1, dying seconds. Could that point prove crucial? We're about to find out in the second half. Infused, not in the worst position though. I kind of fancy them in school, to be perfectly honest, simply because it's, I said, it plays to their strength. Melon and Quicker are going to be devastating in there. It just depends whether or not they can get control. One of the worst things on this map is if you know you're attacking school, if you lose control of mid, that other team will just continue to throw the ball and just continue to put you on the back foot. And it's really hard to come back from there.
At the same time, though, VWS, they can still dictate this. I mean, as long as they do not give up school control, they can potentially walk away with this 4-1, the score that is currently now. They just have to not do the things that Infused did at the beginning of the game and just completely lose composure. Straight off the bat, 4 points very, very quickly in their favor. But here we go, both teams really just trying to get some control here. And it is actually going to be Infused with the satellite, but it is quicker than you. He is all on his own and just trying to stay alive.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give up control yet. He's actually just going to keep it in.
That's risky.
I wouldn't go too far back Quicker. That's a little bit, unless he's going to play it out, which he is.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh. I thought it was going to come back as well.
Okay.
Infamous play actually against Gunch there, where a player has managed to get that ball off the top there. I can't remember exactly who it was. It might have been Sensor.
Phasia.
Yeah, it was. So now we see, you can say Brain to get a few controls here. This is the problem. If, right now, if Infused cannot get control back at this point, then you can just be overwhelmed for several minutes, and it will just continue. Even if you know, VWS don't get any points, it just becomes a pain. It becomes really hard to get back drone control. However, they have managed to do it quicker. He needs to be patient here. There's no way he can push that.
No, he needs to wait on his team, and they need to get somebody stacked in there a little bit. And as you can...
Oh, actually, JT's in a position.
Wow.
JT, that was a long pass, and JT should now put it home.
Very, very nicely played.
Flanked through green.
I seen him pushing up there, and they did actually have... I was thinking, why aren't you stacking pit? And I had a look towards the map. JT's sitting there. That's very, very nicely well played by Infused. Set up for that. Very, very well. JT makes the kill. Asked for the pass.
I thought Quiggle was just being overzealous, but no, JT clearly had already flanked. But now they have to just keep careful. They have to not let anything go against them. Melon is in a position where he has to make a kill. He is going to go down, and there's now going to be a push. Quicker's going to go down as well. And you see Robs now has control of it. That's going to be passed away, and it's so hard to stop Nolson in this position, and in he goes. I said they had to stay alive there. They were being a little bit too aggressive. They didn't have drone control at all.
Well, on board with Nelson now. Just going to try and come around and try and pick up some scrappy kills. Not going to happen for him, but yeah, this is exactly what VWS can do now. 6-3 up. They can just sit back and they can make these kills, get some control, and push up when they want to. They don't need to dictate the Infused pace. They dictate it their own. They are in the lead by 3 points with a halfway point through the second half. And they're looking good for the win here. This could put them back into contention for this series. This will draw it up 2-2 because we are playing what they're calling the Super 6 series. We play every single map in a 6-game series.
Quicker should be
And
away.
it can
The
be
armor
draws.
is going to... No! It lets him down in the last second, but Lewis is there, but that armor will stop it, and it will be reset. He just was not able to kill him in the bullets he had left in the clip. Now, you know what? I'm actually really liking this kind of combo of Brain and Nelson. I mean, Brain just seems like a really top AR.
Well, on board with Lewis now, as we do switch to Brain. But yeah, Brain is he's working very, very well for this VWS team. He's being aggressive, he's making the kills, and he's this guy who can stay alive very, very well. Makes a couple of kills there before going down. 4 kills without a death. Very, very good
it's a
work.
miss.
Yeah, it's just about going to miss
They're in
there
position,
for
though.
VWS. But yeah, they can definitely do something with this. Nelson all on his own, but he is going to shut down. Very well played by JT just to clean things up. Who's currently on a 4 streak of his own. And now they can potentially count that. They can get some control and try and get it into school. We've only ever seen it really happen once for Infused, where they've gotten
Well, they're not in a position here. They've got no school control whatsoever. This is disastrous for VWS. Just going to rely on the guys from Infused making these kills, and he is not going to go for it. Gets heavily stunned in the face. Quicker is there. Not going to be able to get it. That will be reset, and they have to fight for drone control again. This is not even a matter of fighting VWS now. This is a matter of time, and you can see Nelson knows that.
Yeah.
This is a great play. I was about to say it's a minute 30 left when I was going to call it, and he's just going to wait.
Yeah,
he's happy to wait.
It's ballsy because what you can do there, you can sit and you're wasting time. They can push in there and try and get rid of you. You can get rid of the satellite very, very quickly. Now he's actually under a bit of pressure, and it's not really going to work out because his team didn't get control around the middle. There you go. That's going to be another 2, and it's a 1-point game.
He was trying to burn time. Interesting thing about that play for me is it's kind of an interesting way to play it, right? Because technically you have to keep an eye on. Oh, we actually see Brain's going to go all the way, and he could put this out. He's going to be able to get it.
What?
Infused. They were too aggressive. They got caught.
Again,
they were not expecting it.
Gunshy, I want to tap into your knowledge here because realistically, I think this is going to be another critical moment from you because that was not good from either team, if anything.
No, since it's... Oh, we're going to go for it again here. See if
Oh, no! Little bounce will eventually get it.
Oh, and the kill as well.
Now let's see if VWS can counter it, because every single time Infused have scored, they've countered it straight away because Infused have been in bad positions after scoring the point.
Well, as we get in the final 20 seconds now, it is a 1-point game. Infused need to do something about this very quickly. As we can see, VWS are just
They have to
stacking.
just go. They have to just go now, and it's got to be aggressive, and it's got to be fast. They need to make kills. Quicker will get one. They are now going to push through. Another kill has gone down. There's one person left, but that will be dropped, and they have to go back for it. Nelson just shuts it down and has completely denied them. Gets the 3-piece in Skull, and that means that they will eventually win that map. Fantastic play by him. When you've got a clutch position and a player has to make 3 kills, you'd call it against them.
Well, he did it fantastically well, though. And again, another scrappy game, if anything. It was a bit strange. It was never really any control from anybody, and they were just taking their chances when they needed to. But there you go. VWS can walk away with that map. That's going to level the series up.
I said I was very, very impressed with Brain and Nelson. They seem to kind of work really well together. They've always got each other's back. They can be aggressive together. I think it's a little bit of a duo-ship going on there, and I'm really interested to see how that develops over the course of the league.
Yeah, they've been teaming for a while now, so they know each other's what they do inside out. But that map was it was
Weird, right?
It was weird, but like Infuse did a point where I think Quicker picked up the ball and threw it up the map, and then Lewis was flagged from green. Like that's a smart play. That's something you need to be doing to mix it up. That's what you like to see on Uplink, rather than just doing the bog standard, just going through score what you expect.
Yeah.
They mixed it up and did something different. But what was wrong with it was they got the point, but then they didn't regroup back to P1 and get the control of mid map. They just gave it up, and then VWS just ran it in, got a 2-pointer, and then they're back ahead again. And it happened twice in that second half. So it's something from Infuse to take from the game is once they get a point, regroup, clear mid-map is so important.
Yeah, it seemed to me like they just wanted to constantly be aggressive. And it was actually, I'll give a lot of credit to Brain here. And it wasn't even about his stats. It was the fact that he was just providing that kind of wall.
Yeah.
That every time Infuse kind of poked out, he was like, I'll be there. And I'll take the long sight lines. And you're going to have to, if you want P1 control, fight me first. I'll be school window.
Yeah.
I'll be garage. You're going to have to go through me first. And I'll be here. And I'll let my SMGs run in front of me. And that's what I was saying with Nolson. That kind of duo-ship here, he had his back most of the time.
Yeah, Detroit is the most dependent AR map. You can have 3 subs, and then that one AR player is crucial. He's the guy that's always looking mid-road, always. And then your subs are always pushing out the side lanes. And if your AR is winning gunfights mid-map, I mean, you should be winning that map 9 times out of 10.
Well, I said that's now going to actually be 2-2 between these two squads. And once again, I'm surprised. I said, for me, VWS should have potentially won every single map. Infused have not looked the stronger team, in my opinion. They have better rotations on the hard point, maybe, yeah. But in my opinion, for most of these maps, it's actually been VWS to throw it away. And I think maybe that's a composure thing, or maybe a little bit of scrap. Some of their strategies aren't kind of coming over from online play into the LAN, and they're having to adapt. And I think they're actually going to get better as this series goes on.
Yeah, I think both teams have every right to be annoyed at some of the situations that have come about, because every single map literally could have gone either way. So there's going to be times where people have made mistakes, like we saw on the uplink. We saw it in the hard point. People have been making mistakes in this game, but it's 2-2 now, and it all comes down to these S&Ds. And like people say, Search and Destroy does win you championships. So now's the real time to turn up is on the Search and Destroy. 5th
map, Search and Destroy. It is going to be Search and Destroy Riot will be the first one we see. And that was actually picked by VWS. So interesting, the uplinks actually went the other way around. The hardpoints went to the team that picked them. So this could actually go either way here. The last 2 maps will determine who wins this. Are we going to see a draw, or will we see one of these teams actually walk away with a win? Riot, Search and Destroy, once again, I'm going to thank you, Gunchi. Gunchi will be kind of chipping in with pro knowledge throughout the cast, but me and Ton will be taking this one away. We are going to start our board with the attacking team most of the time. This is Riot, Search and Destroy.
My favorite Search and Destroy map. I'm going to put it out there. I think it's just got something different about it. Each and every single area, you need to have different guns there. The snipers can come out, which is always entertaining to watch. So let's see how it goes down. I mean, who are you going for the win here? Because it's getting down to the boil now, and something I was trying to explain through the map, but big players going down from both teams. We are playing the Super 6. It can be a draw. We can go 3-3. Which will be 1 point apiece, but of course you can go on to win the series, and it is going to be every single map played irrelevant to the score. And as we get into this one, I'm going to go with VWS.
Right. I thought this first push was going to be an aggressive A push, and it is. However, Melon will go down. First blood has been taken away. VWS will get that. Nelson gets a second one here as well. Look at that. Nelson just bursts on, and he's going to be looking for it as well. I think he got 3 kills there.
Very, very nicely. Well played by VWS. It's going to be the first
look
one.
at this. Nelson just comes out.
Picks up the 2, jumps up.
Lewis is running away.
Yeah, no. In a lot of trouble.
Take the left hook from him there. There we go. Like it's one of those ones where you can basically predict in Search and Destroy. Most teams will go A to begin with. And they went for it. Said, you know what? Let's take the risk. We're going to see whether or not they rush it. And they rushed out and kind of countered it. So jumping on board with the attacking team once again, it will be VWS. And I'm going to go on board with Nelson.
Well, 3-0 from him at the moment now. Straight off the bat on the first round. And very, very aggressive once again. I think we spoke about pickup teams being a bit strange because, I mean, this team hasn't been formed that long. And it's working out for them here because they're getting aggressive and Infused aren't ready for it. But the thing is that Infused have done that well. They've sat back just that little bit. But now, as we can see, it is actually VWS going to be rotating around the back. And JT is going to make that first kill.
Yeah, I'll go on board with Rob. So Rob's just going to be able to see JT. He's going to get tagged down and will be picked off. Now, on board with Brain. He's going to try and make this kill at the same time now. Trying to equal it up just a little bit here. I mean, they're not in the greatest of positions, let's be honest. He's now going to have to get that bomb as well. And he is they're just going to try and duo up here. I mean, the issue with this being is the time will start to go against them. If they don't start to make a move or make a pick very, very soon, this passive play will go against them, especially when another kill goes down. 1v3, wasn't going to make it, down 1-1.
A little bit different from I mean, we've seen VWS get very aggressive, and I was thinking to myself, Infused haven't really done very much with it here, and they had control of VWS. But Infused just sat back and just waited what the VWS were going to do. They pushed around, and it was a bit of a strange round. I mean, neither team really took the initiative. Again, it seems to be, and it was something we actually touched on at the beginning of the game. Infused don't necessarily have a leader. I look towards that VWS squad. I don't really necessarily see one in there either. Maybe nobody's really making those calls they need to be making.
Well, here we can see a lot slower start this time. Quicker than you, just hovering around, and they may even go for a B push. You can see this entire team rotating. That call's clearly come in from Melon, who said, I haven't seen anybody here. I haven't been challenged. I dislike the fact he's actually pushing up this far because he has the bomb. If he didn't have the bomb, I'll be fine with this. But if he drops in this position, now his teammates have to go get it. That's awful. That's an awful position to have to go get the bomb. Guns, what do you make of that?
Yeah, that's stupid. I don't know what. It's obviously communication. That's what I was saying about team leader. Like someone would have shouted, called him out there and said, come back, what you doing? You know, you got the bomb. If you drop it there, you're in a bad position. And now you can see VWS just flooding the bomb.
Yeah, they found it as well.
They could have got the bomb down so easily because VWS on both defenses so far have just stacked a bomb, and that was a perfect opportunity for Infused to win this attack.
Yeah, I think they're now in the position where they can't really do an awful lot here unless there's some sort of miracle play come in. JT's going to try and push in with his teammates here. Can he manage to pick up this kill? Nelson, no!
Wow.
Goes down. Lewis now in a 1 versus 3, looking for it. Sees one, sees a second one as well. He's going to be targeted from behind. The player who's up top. Can he get it? No! Almost gets realized, but realized will lock that one down to begin with. But that was a lot harder than it should have been. I mean, like you said, that was a little bit of a misplay from Melon. Realized, puts a few shots down, and you know what? He may not have even won that if he hadn't got those first few bullets on him. Had to kind of readjust his aim. But like I said, a few misplays there from both squads. I just can't believe that Melon pushed there with the bomb.
I mean, it's been the story of the series, really, hasn't it? I think neither teams have really...
It seems like there's a lot of polishing for
Yeah.
them to do over the weeks and the season of this league. They can't be making these mistakes, especially when every single map counts.
If they played against Vitality or Epsilon, both these teams would be 4-0 down.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially with the way they're playing. So, on board with Brain. And that looks like there may actually be a plant here. It's a good position. Oh, no, it's not a blue position anymore. That player on the flank, and who is it? It's going to be Quicker. Quicker's in a nightmare position for this squad. Players on the flank. Lewis trying to gain control. It's actually quite a kind of a funny setup for both squads. They haven't really got where they want to be. Robs will take that first kill. That was Quicker and Lewis. Quicker now in a 1 versus 3. Now he has no chance. There's not enough time for him to actually even make these kills.
That's the issue with flanking around behind there. He's not going to make that.
Well, he was in a good position. I'm surprised he backed off that. I mean, you can back off, yeah, but you got when you know that bomb's gone down, that's your chance to actually do something. That's the most dangerous time in Search and Destroy is just as soon as that bomb's gone down because they know exactly where a player is and they will try to challenge because that player's trying to get out.
Well, VWS are looking pretty good here.
Yeah, they certainly are.
And after winning that last map as well, I think the momentum is definitely in their favor now. If they win this map, they're definitely going to walk away with a point. Of course, we are playing the typical, what you see in football leagues, etc. 3 points for the win, 1 point for the draw. Every map counts here in the Super 6 system that we are using on board with JT now. Trying to pick up some kills, and it's very, very slow from Infused again. They are getting around that area.
I like this, though. I think this is better.
Yeah, it is better. It seems to suit their playstyle a lot more, but we do have a flanker.
There you go. It's now a 1 versus thing. Unfortunately, I mean, Robs goes to the flank, and if you can get in, into the position where you can stop this, great. However, when you're left alone, you don't want to be here.
Yeah, it makes no difference which way you're coming from if you're the last guy alive. I mean, yeah, it's all very nice to have this flank, but when you're the last guy, you can't really use the pressure of coming around behind and come from both directions because all your teammates are dead and you've got nobody else to help you.
Oh, he's been seen now. It's going to be a hit marker. Melon, quickest to challenge him. Thank you very much. 2-3. They will get a point back on the board here, Infused. And this is quite tense between the two teams. A little bit of counterplay actually coming in from both squads.
The thing is, when you've got somebody, and Gunchy, I don't know if you want to tap into this a bit, when you've got somebody flanking around, do you say, right, I'm flanking, stay alive. Because, I
Yeah.
mean, that's where you can get the pressure from.
Yeah, well, I'm quite against people just playing lone flanks by themselves. I like to see teams go around as a 4 or go around as a team. I think it's quite selfish. You see Zuma, I'm not sure what team he's on now, but he literally does it every single round. It's so predictable to play against. If you're doing it every now and then, it can work, but doing it every single round, it's just predictable, and I don't like to see it, to be honest.
Well, this is a strange one because it does seem as if
A four-man flank can actually be really devastating because you're all of a sudden, even just getting 1 or 2, you're automatically numerically ahead, right? But here we go. Nelson is looking for this flank. You just try and keep the pressure off here.
But the thing is, it's not a flank if there's nobody on the other side. They're all just pushing one direction. I know what you're saying, and they can push in there potentially.
Yeah. We're going to jump on board with Melon here, and Melon is just trying to hold them off. He is not going to be able to do it. It's going to be Lewis now in a 1 versus 3. He will pick up the first one, though. Now 1 versus 2. Desperately just trying to stay alive. Needs to play the timeout here. He's doing it so well. They aren't able to shut him down. And he is going to do it. That's going to be it. Going to challenge anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Well, 4-2. And sorry,
he was just trying to stay alive. He was just like, I'm just going to duck and dive, and hopefully something will come out of it. But it didn't. And instead, when they were in a position, and because the issue with that big rush around the side was when that bomb went down, they weren't in a position to do anything about it. So then you saw them. They all actively slowed down, going, great, now we have to actually enter into it, because automatically they knew VWS weren't going to be in the positions they were going to originally be in. They were going to hunker up and wait for it.
Well, let's see what Infuse can do. 4-2 now. And they really, really need this map.
I really don't want Lewis to challenge us. I think it'll be a bad idea if he moves out. He's already been called out. He doesn't have view on where anyone else is. There we go. He's got a few nades out and he's going to back off. That's exactly what he should have done. However, oh, I thought Quicker was going to plant there, but no, Quicker's actually get taken down from fire. Didn't get the plant or didn't get the challenge he was going for, but it will be kind of brought back into this. Again, advantage to VWS. They now have 3-2.
Well, with JT. Let's see what he can do about this position that they're in, because it's not a very good one. That bomb carrier does not want to be in the middle of the map, but he has actually getting away with it. Melanie is going to get the kill on the brain. That's very important. Realize last guy alive. And
yeah,
now
this is tense
Infuse,
because there's just enough time for Infuse to do whatever they need to do. They can work out a strategy here.
Yeah.
They can go where they need to go. Realize, you know what? I actually quite like this play. The fact he's going to go into a more passive position to try and look at the bomb sites. I think he's going to call this right as well, and he should be able to do some damage here.
It's predictable, no?
It is predictable. JT's going to see him. He's going to go down. Gunch, I mean, so far it's quite neck and neck in this.
that round right there was game changing. Although it doesn't seem it was quite a boring round, but 4-2. If VWS win that round, they go 5-2 up.
Yeah. And
it was a 3v2 in favour of VWS as well, and then they managed to pull it off a 2v4. I think Melon went huge. Melon literally was game changing. Although it didn't seem it, those kills were game changing. Believe it.
Well, let's jump on board with Robs on the attack here. I said VWS, they did have the advantage in their last round and somehow threw it away, especially on the defense as well. That shouldn't really happen. Now, Robs is going to look for this Lewis, though. We'll get first pick. And they are just trying to slow this one down again here. And I'm wondering if they should maybe change the tactics up a little bit. This is a long-range fight. Nelson's trying to take on Melon all the way across the map.
It's wasting bullets, in my opinion. I mean, it's nice to get the picks off.
It would take a phenomenal shot to actually pick him off there. Now, they are looking for it again. They could do with a pick here. Nelson putting more shots down. Still got nothing.
I suppose it is a little bit of pressure, you know, trying to push them in there, but kills being exchanged in the middle of the map quicker than you going down, but does take down Robs with him.
The trade's good. As long as somebody's there to trade, you can kind of get away with it. There we go. Nelson, though, will actually pick this one up. They've brought it back into a good position here, VWS. I like to see Nelson, you know, he's already got Brain looking at the flank. I'm not sure why he's looking at it and not trying to get a bit of control somewhere, rather than just looking the same way his teammate is. I mean, they know that they have to think about a bomb plant now. They're running out of time. Every second you let go from this point,
they've left it a little bit later.
Yeah, it's less of a corner. It's more of a risk you have to take. Like Nelson, right now, awful position. Even if he gets this right, all they have to do is have one player look at the bomb site at maybe 17, 18 seconds, and even if he dies, they just wait till the time to go out again. And just challenge it again. Because no matter what happens, that player is either planting or he's going to plant, so you just wait. But yeah, I said it's time that kills people. 4-4.
Well, this game's a lot tighter than it should be, in my opinion. I think VWS have looked pretty good through this S&D, and I think, you know, they should have been asserting their dominance, but 4-4 now. They were disappointed with that. 9-5 from Robzo, good scores by him.
I wonder, this looks like it could be a big mid-rush. And you know what? I actually like the fact they're trying to change it up a little bit here. But
Oh,
down he
Rob's gonna
goes.
shut
Robs
that
has already
down.
got it. Should be traded away. Players coming in everywhere. JT Robs, though, will get a second one. He should have been dropped off a lot quicker. And that's actually not worked out well here for Infused at all. I thought they had a little bit of an advantage that they flooded mid, but Robs completely shut it down and got away.
Yeah, the thing is, they've rushed mid, and Robs is there. And Robs is already he's already got 9 and 5. So this guy's going to start wiping people out very quickly. Shots clearly on point. Picks up a 2-piece in the middle of the map and just shuts down your whole plan for that round. So now what do you do, Infused? Looks like you're going to go towards A.
And now they're just being a bit cautious here. I mean, Lewis going for this
no.
one, so he needs to make that and get away. Does get traded. If he hadn't have popped off that one shot, he may have got away with it. But now, JT in a 1 versus 2. 36 seconds left to go. Surely they're just going to split here and wait for the bomb sites. They don't have to do an awful lot. He's going to be seen through the fence there. They are going to challenge him. Down he goes. There's surely no way. Nope, isn't going to go that way. VWS will be 5-4.
I mean, that would have been some feat if he actually
Yes,
managed
it
to pull that one
it
off.
would have been. It would have been ridiculous.
I mean,
That's kind of the point there where
Yeah.
Dalton is, his heart stops in his chest. He goes, if I hadn't have made that, that would have been a nightmare. But Gunch, so far, I mean, this has been an interesting S&D. Both teams not really able to find any dominant strategy. Everything they try seems to be counterplayed.
I am questioning that shot call out last round there, 4-4, and you decided to go everyone mid. And Infused knew damn right that they were putting players in mid. And at 4-4, it's quite a risky play because it's not a safe option to do. I'd like to see that play being made on the first couple of rounds, not at 4-4.
Wow, quick
Well,
round.
So, yeah, that's all over.
Well, here we go.
5-5.
5-5, last round. And either of these teams could actually walk away with it. Gunch, prediction.
Whoever's on attack is going to win. I think these teams, each team's won one defense so far. Attack's been is always the easiest side to win, so I'm going with whoever's on attack to win this one.
Okay, let's find out. On attack, it's going to be Infused. Infused will be the guys on attack. Let's jump on board with, I'm going to jump on board with Melon to begin with. He's probably going to be aggressive. I think he actually is going to be here. Trophy system already going up.
VWS are very aware of this push, though.
They are. They've called it correctly again.
You see, it's a sticky situation because if you can't get up to this point you are now, you're in trouble. But VWS never really asserted that control they had a little bit there, and the bomb's down.
All 4 players up. Now this is actually a dangerous position for VWS because if they're too slow doing this, then they can actually just run out of time. That amount of trades is ridiculous. So we're on board with Melon. Melon trying to just gets the first pick as well. This should be Infused. He's gonna get it. Can he get the second kill as well? No. A teammate completely juked him. But doesn't matter. Will be cleaned up as well. JT is there. Realize I'm going to get a kill. He's trying to trade this one away as well. It's 2 versus 2. He gets the first one. It's now going to be Realize in a 1 versus 2. Realize goes down as well, and JT will get 3 kills that round and will secure it for Infused.
Well, there you go. Gunsheet knows everything. Gunsheet knows absolutely everything. There you go. The attacker did actually get in there and actually win that round. So there you go. And it is going to be Infused taking away that map.
Well, there you go. That's all over there. Gunch, what would you like to see actually different in that from the S&D perspective? I mean, it was a little bit scrappy. Like I said, it's difficult for the defending team. When that bomb goes down and there's 4 players left on both squads, time is also such a massive factor in that because people will just trade away.
Yeah, well, a lot of the time I saw VWS leaving it till really late on the attacks. It was a bit too late. Like one time they were at B and they were leaving it to like 20 seconds. It was a 2v2. They could have just got the bomb down. They're playing really hesitant. And also a thing I'd like to touch on is the fact that VWS are using a sub and they've got Realize, and obviously he went 3-9. But I'm not trying to pick on him or anything. But all I'm trying to say is that it just shows that there was no organization there whatsoever. So he wasn't able to get into position to trade kills. It was clearly visible because he went 3-9. So you know, if they had their full 4th player in, I mean, it could have been a lot closer than what it was. But I mean, like I said, the attacking team at 5-5, I think always should come through unless they get stupidly first picked.
Yeah, that was the one you actually saw. I mean, VWS called it as well. They said 5-5, they stacked A. They said, we'll stack the defense on A. But what I didn't see and what I would have maybe liked to see, I know it's a risk. I said, but when you see that, know that bomb's gone down, that's your opportunity to flood. They had a player fire. They had, they
were
had
too
3.
slow.
Yeah, they just waited. They just waited. And you're like, at that point, the other team's happy. They're like, okay, we've got the bomb down. Danger position is passed.
Play your life. Run the clock down. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, so there we go. I mean, that's kind of how it's gone. So, guaranteed for Infused to have a point.
Yep.
Can they make it 3?
I don't know, because I just felt as if VWS looked the better team through the SD. They lost it in the end, but realistically, I mean, we can't always count on stats. I know you touched on Realize already, but when you got two guys going 11-7, you should win.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
S&D,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
on S&D stats do mean a
Yeah.
lot. I do like stats on S&D because, you know, every kill's massive in S&D.
Yeah. You know, you got your two guys going 11-7. I mean, that's a +4 from both them, +8 on kills, just from them two. The rest of the guys just need to step up a little bit, and I think VWS are actually going to be able to take a point here.
And you got to remember at 4-2, VWS were up 4-2.
Yeah.
And I said if they win that round, it was a 3v2 in their favour. If they would have just won that round, it would have been 5-2 up, and they would have been clear favourites to take that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's one of those things where, I mean, you spoke about it earlier, right? Realize he's a substitute. He's a substitute on the roster. He's jumped in for this one. And we saw him. We saw that a few times. We saw them not maybe clicking in a position where they should have been, not trading the kills away where they should have been. A few dodgy calls went away. I mean, actually, speaking of dodgy calls, Melon with the bomb. They should never have gone where he went. But yeah, as I said, both these teams, for me, have got a little bit of polishing to do.
Yeah,
If they want to progress in this league, not even just this game, this league, then they have to kind of nail down those mistakes. Because there are other teams who will punish them so severely for the things they've done.
Well, these two teams are literally the two teams that are fighting for that top 4 position, you know, third, fourth position. So, and I think what's going to define that is literally cutting down on these little mistakes. There's tiny little mistakes that we can pick out, but overall, it's not been all that bad. But there's been 1 or 2 game-changing mistakes.
Yeah. So it's interesting, like I said, how these stack up against each other. I wouldn't be surprised to see it as a tie. I wouldn't be. Both these teams, in my opinion, don't deserve the win.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to put that out there. I don't think either one of these teams has really done enough work or looked the dominant team or been anything to take the win.
I mean, as we've talked about throughout the whole series, but both teams could have taken the first 5 maps.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a very strange job because I mean,
you look at the scoreboard for those maps, just ridiculous.
I mean, we're going to bring the maps up in a second for you guys, and we'll just have a look at that. But it's been very, very close all the way through. But both teams have had their opportunities. They've had their opportunities to close these maps out. Neither of them really taken them at the times that they needed to. And unfortunately, it's been a bit of a scrappy game. Maps coming up on your screen now. I mean, first map was relatively close. The scoreboard doesn't necessarily suggest that, but you know, going into that last hard point, it was a 10 or 15 point game. I mean, the second one, yes, there was a point in it, but it was over in about 12 seconds or so. And yeah, it's been a strange one, a close one, but both teams could have easily.
It's a fantastic way to open up the Pro League. This is probably one of the best series I've ever watched in terms of both teams. You could barely get a piece of paper between them in terms of skill level. They've really got strength in different areas, but they're struggling to beat each other every single map. Nobody has been dominant. Nobody has run away with it. And usually you'd find at least one map where a team was just fantastic at and the other team weren't.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened yet.
No, on this map, I want to see the team that is the most aggressive. I reckon that team's going to win. And the team that I think is best at being aggressive is VWS. I saw them on Riot. Whenever they decided to be aggressive, Nolson and Brain were making them plays. So if they're going to do it, this is the perfect map to do it. There's so many sneaky ways you can come through. We'll see what happens.
All right, let's jump into this search and destroy then. And we're on board with Nolson first of all, but that will be first blood goes down as Melon will pick it up and Brain will actually end up trading. Down goes Nolson and now Robs and Brain are left in a 2 versus 3. They're going to try and maybe get a little bit closer to each other in case of a trade here. Yeah. But there you go. First one down. It's now a 2 versus 2. Slightly better position. Robs is just getting the kills and we're not even watching him. Jumping back on board. It's now Melon. We'll jump on board with him. Can he clutch this up? He may call this right as well.
He has called it right, but what I like from VWS, they've made a conscious decision straight away. Right, okay, we're 2 versus 1 here. Let's go and get the bomb
He's trying to be quiet. Now that bomb has gone down. This is an opportunity for him to trade. Can he get the first kill? Yes, he does. Managed to get one. He's going to be looking now. Nelson, Melon versus Brain. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tense here. 1 versus 1. Can they try and find each other out here? Time now slowly going against him. He's going to look for him. He's going to pick him up and Melon will clutch it. Unbelievable. Just managed to get in the right position there. I mean, clutching a situation with the bomb down, that should not have happened.
I mean, Gunshy, let's touch on that. At the position where you're 2 versus 1, you've got the bomb down.
Yep.
Brycey says you should never lose that. What did they do wrong there? Because for me, I think they need to stay a bit closer together.
They needed to literally just get, once he's planted the bomb, they both go in one direction. What you saw was one of them went in one direction, one of them went in a different direction. So you're just going to be, you're going to open yourself up for just getting picked off one by one.
Yeah, there's no ability to trade there, and that's what they really needed. But jumping on board with Melon for the attack. He's currently 3-0 as he had a fantastic first round, including the clutch. So we're going to look for it now. Can he see it again? And Robs, he's going to go down, but not by him, as Nolson will actually jump off the edge of the map.
That's a disaster.
That is a disaster for him. However, so advantage now for these squads. Now looking, Melon. I'm surprised he hasn't tried to put this down. His teammates are nowhere near him here. Look how this everyone's just running in a big circle of chaos. However, Brain will end up in a 1 versus 3. Maybe a 1 versus 2. Can they now get a clutch back?
See, he's not really in a position to do anything with that there. The clutch is not going to come in. That's going to be 2-0. Infused looking good there, but it was just a really, it was just a bit strange. Nobody necessarily locked anything down. Everyone was just running around like lunatics. I'm not really quite sure what happened from that round, to be honest with you. But
Yeah, they seem everyone just kind of seemed to split up and run around like loons. But there we go. Now 2-0 in favour. And you gotta wonder just if this is going to be a sweep. Maybe this will be the first sweep we actually end up seeing. Jumping on board with Robs here to begin with, and see how they actually push off on this.
Well, shot's going to come down. That'd be a very good shot to take somebody down there from Brain. Oh, he actually jumped off the map there. Millionaire is going to make the first kill, though. That's going to be Robs going down, and Robs have been putting up big numbers in the SD, so that's bad news for VWS. But with Brain, see if they can move in here. They're going to get collapsed on.
They are. This is not going to go well. Brain needs to make that shot or he's going to go down. And here you go. You see the pinch. All of Infused are about to flood. And Realize is now left in a 1 versus 4. No bomb, no control. Pretty much no hope. I'm sure they're a little bit curious now. They don't actually know exactly where he is. This plays to his advantage. If he can pick and move, he has a chance. It's slim.
He's got enough time.
Yeah, he doesn't have the bomb either, which is not a great scenario. He's going to see quicker. That's going to be called out, looking for the quicker kill. Unfortunately, weren't able to pick it. In that sort of scenario, you have to make the kill quick, snap, and get out, or you're going to be collapsed on.
Yeah, it's one of them ones where you need to make that kill and get out of where you are very, very quickly. Unfortunately, even if he had made that first kill quicker than you, he's in such an open area.
It's a nightmare. I mean, 1 versus 4, the reason it's so kind of shouted out and so lauded is because it's basically impossible. But jumping on board once again with the attacking team, and there's only one man we can realistically watch.
Yeah.
It's got to be Melon.
Well, something else to touch on the 1v4s, you should never be really doing it in this sort of level.
No.
You shouldn't. There's no way. Both teams should be able to cover one guy between 4 of them. But here we go, back into this next round. And Infused looking very good. Melon looking very, very good at the moment. Shot's going to get down on to Realize they should be able to pick up that kill. 3 men go down very, very quickly. And suddenly it is Robs left on his own. Does pick up a 1 on Lewis. Hope is not quite lost for VWS yet. Now 3-0 down though, and Robs in a 1 versus 3 was a 1 versus 4.
This is so hard. I mean, we've seen a 1v2 in this scenario. Seeing a 1v3 maybe just a step too far, or 1v4 will be, because we did get that first kill as well. Now, he's going to try and put it, and it goes down. Just not able to get anything. There was too many corners. There was too many positions for him to check. It was really, really difficult. Gunch, I've got to ask you here. I mean, this is a very different show to what we've been seeing.
Yeah, this dominant. I think every single round, all 4 rounds, Infused have got their first picks on every single round. And on this map, first pick is huge. You get the first pick, you can back off and group together and trade kills as a team. And I just think Nelson and Realize are leaving themselves in stupid positions on the map to get picked off straight away. If they played their life more, or just played the bombs, and they wouldn't be getting picked so often. But it seems to be happening all 4 rounds so far.
Thanks, Paul.
Well, that's on board. We're on board with Robs this time. Kills are going down here. It's actually 3 versus 3, but JT picks him off, and it is now a 2 versus 2. On board with Brain, and he's teaming up with Realize. They don't have bomb, and this is a very dangerous flank coming. You can actually see it quicker than you. Should be able to do something. He's going to pick up 1. Just dips out there. Completely happy with that. Back on board with Realize as he is in the 1v2.
They know exactly where he is as well.
He has to make this. To have any hope of winning this map, he has to make this.
Infused to play that right, they could have played it 1 or 2 ways. They could have really pushed in there, they know where Realize is, and just try and pinch, but they are backed off, which is worked out in their favor. Actually, now they can pinch him because they know exactly where he is. They're in a decent little spot. 1 kill's going to go down to Realize, though. Checks down JT. He should surely go down. He has actually managed to stay alive. We're going to get a turn. Not quite going to happen. 5-0 now to Infused. And again, yes, they are 5-0 up, but that was a little bit scrappy for me. I mean, I don't know if you agree. It was just a little bit too close to comfort when Realize is doing that and nearly getting the turn on there. They could have probably closed in there a little bit better, but 5-0 now. And Realize, unfortunately, did get shut down, and it's not looking great for VWS. You said there's going to be a shutout at 2-0, Brycey, and that was bold, I thought, at first, but maybe not.
Yeah, it does look that way. Like I said, this is the first time we've actually seen a team be dominant between these 2 squads, and it could genuinely be a shutout. Melon, though, we're on board with it. We'll go first pick against this team, and it is going to be another one go down, and there's an opportunity to win this round, and hopefully maybe even start an amazing comeback. Down they go, 5-1. That was a very quick round. They just got caught out there. Is it going to be enough, though? I think it's too little too late to actually start putting these rounds on the board. This is something fairy tales are made of. You probably count on your hand the amount of times it actually happens in Call of Duty, just simply because it's so hard to do. They've got to win 6 on the bounce now. Attack and defense. Flawless style.
Yeah, but Infused have just done that, I suppose. But at the same time, VWS would never really look likely in this map. I think it's still going to be closed down. Melon, 9-2 from him at the moment. It's pretty inspirational for his team. The rest of them just pulling their weight there. At the same time, Melon
like this.
looking
I
good.
do like the fact that he's going for a quick plant.
It needs to be ballsy plays, and this is what's going to win them the game if they're going to try and get back into this one, because they need to make plays where they know they can get something from it. They've never really looked assertive in any sort of position at the moment, and now they are. Realize getting the kill there as well. That's now 2 versus 4. This could be the comeback coming in. Realize going to pick up the 2 pieces as well. Is he going to be able to pick up the 3rd? Not quite, but his teammates do. And that could potentially...
I just want to point out that Realize at one point was 0-4.
Yeah, I know he's done a lot better
Yeah.
in these past couple of rounds, which maybe is helping his team out.
Because he's moved out the back of his spawn.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't sure if your mic's on there, Gunchi, but yeah, it's because he has actually moved out the back of his spawn.
There you go. I mean, that's helping. And they're actually being a little bit more aggressive now. And funny enough, Gunch, bringing you into this, you said that at the beginning of the map. You said whoever's going to be more aggressive is going to win. You called VWS to do that, and they haven't done it. And the few rounds they won, like that round, is a great case in point, simply because they actually went straight for the bomb site, got the plant down, and it was easy.
Yeah, I'm surprised. At the minute, it's the Melon show. He's taking this game over, really is. No, I thought VWS would be a lot more aggressive, but they just seem to be sitting back and just playing so passive. And this map is just known for being
look
pushing
at the mini map. I'm going to bring this up for us. Look at where they are. Like how is that?
3 players are sat at the back of the map. On this map, you got to do one or the other.
No, it's trouble.
Down.
Pushed up by himself.
Yeah. In that position, obviously, you do want somebody to come in there and just try and make the picks, but yeah,
They're still where they're spawned.
But I don't understand how they haven't realized it yet, though. They got their two rounds of being aggressive and pushing in. That's a nice shot by Brain, but it's just not worked out for them this round, and it's looking like trouble.
They're waiting, and Nelson will actually pick up another one. It's actually going back in their favor slightly, and they're going to get that kill as well. Melon, though, will pick up one. This will be a 1v3. If he makes it, it's now a 1 versus 2. Looking for it. Does get the second one as well. Not able to dip away before he can do. Did work out for them that time, VWS, but they played, like I said, a very slow, very passive game. At one point, you saw they're all basically by spawn. They could be back in where they spawned in about 2 seconds.
Well, that's 3 rounds off the bounce. Let's see if they can continue this on here, because if they can get a 4th, then Infused are going to be looking pretty shaky, because at the moment, even losing 3 in a row is not going to do a lot for your confidence. Melon's still at the top of that leaderboard. JT's just dropped off just a little bit, but Realize definitely picked things up. As is
I'm going to go on board with them. We're going to see how they're going to play this one. Surely they have to be a little bit more aggressive on this attack and just continue to put this forward. Realize is... I actually just... You guys can't see this, but I just the Gunch just pointed at the screen in disbelief going... They were going the right way. They almost went, and then Realize went back to his spawn again. So Gunch, for me, I'm guessing you didn't like that?
No, I just okay, he's watching the flank for his team, but like you said, the aggression's been working for him. Push as a 4 as a team, push the spawn out, stuff like that. This looks better now. They've got control of the bomb site. There's someone in bedroom. If they get that kill, they've got an opportunity to get the bomb down and play the bomb.
Obviously, it's going to be Melon that's trying to slow them down. He has managed to get one and stayed alive. How many does he do? He is going to go down eventually. But now Robs is there, and now the kills are being traded everywhere. Suddenly numerical disadvantage, and it is now Robs in a 1 versus 3 to keep his team alive. Can he? Oh, well, Quicker, 1 versus 2. Quicker helping him out there.
Well, Robs managing to stay alive, and he's been given a lifeline, if anything.
Time is going to kill him, though. He can't do anything with his time remaining. They've just got to wait him out.
Let's see.
Let's go see one. Does see one as well. Is that going to be traded or run away? I'm not sure which. He's got to pick here. He can only pick one option.
Bait it.
Can he do this? Going to the turn? Surely not. That player is now going to go and challenge him. Lewis does challenge him there. I'm surprised he did. That was almost time out. I mean, that last play.
Yeah. It was on. Robs could have done that, but Lewis has just played it too smart. He run the clock down.
Well, there you go. Big win there. Infused will take their first victory in the Pro League. It is going to be 4-2 for them, as you can see them shaking hands. Big win and an amazing start to the kickoff of the European Pro League.
Yeah, you know, it's what we wanted, a close game. We got that, but a scrappy one at that. A very, very scrappy, very tight game. But, you know, it's it's the top of the competition. We are expecting these two guys to probably be battling in around third and fourth. Maybe a little bit lower down if they keep making mistakes like they had done. But an interesting game at that.
Yeah, interesting is very much the word. Key players in that one for you guys. I mean, there was a few players who kind of went off, and for me, I've got to be honest with you, I'm going to go with Melon.
Yeah, I would say the same. He seemed to be quite consistent all the way through the games. You never really seen him have a bad map. Did very well in that final S&D, as we can see from the scores, 12-5 in the end. It was very important to get all those kills down. But for me, again, it was just mistakes on both sides that cost maps for both teams. And we said they need to polish some things up as they do go on in this Pro League. You can see it from VWS's side. Yes, they do have a pickup that might definitely will affect them.
Yeah.
But you look at Infused, and they could have made that a lot easier than it actually was.
Yeah, I mean, Gunch, getting your opinion on that, what are some key things would you, if you were, say, coaching this team, what would you say after that series to both squads in terms of this, you got to fix this, we've got to work on this? What were the key issues for you?
The reason mistakes come about in game is all communication. It really is. Like, small talk is literally, people don't understand how important it is. I think there was just a lot of small talk issues if they step it up on just say, like, when you're in a team speak, like if you were to listen into someone's comms on a respawn, there should always be comms. There should never be a break in the comms. That's what, like, it needs to be like getting hyper, getting really motivated and trying to like get momentum in the game. That's really important. So they need to just basically focus more on comms, because you can kind of tell, because those mistakes wouldn't happen if they were all talking, like pushing the bomb to the back of the map. If someone would have said, "Nah, go and plant the bomb, I'll do that," then it wouldn't have happened. Stuff like on the uplink, he wouldn't have thrown it for a 1 if someone would have said, "No, just play it for 15 or just wait and we'll come and back you up." Like, it's all comms.
So that's an interesting thing about, with Melon actually doing that. We talk about that there when he actually, ran away with a bomb. The reason I want to point on that is because something you said right at the beginning is lack of leadership in this squad. Now, a leader in that position should have just reined him straight back in and goes, "No, what on earth are you doing? We've just got site control. Somebody else can switch position, or you can hold around this. Just change position with anybody.
Yeah.
Don't push all that way."
No, like a leader is important, but like it's for anyone to like anyone could have just looked at the minimap and been like, "What are you doing with the bomb?" and bring it back. A leader is good for like getting the team in the right frame of mind before. It's like good for preparation to have a good team leader to say what we're going to do, how you prepare for the game, basically. And in the game, if you're down, that person's really good at staying headstrong and keeping them on level terms and not just lose their mind, basically.
Fair enough. So you're saying it was just a little bit of somebody in that team should have stepped up, but somebody should have said, "Melon, you can't do that." And one, like I said, the mistakes we saw during the game in various points, both squads did it. Maybe it's just a little bit nerves coming off the start. Like I said, European Pro League, both teams kind of were feeling each other out at points. Yeah. We saw rapid changes in tempo from both squads. And it's one of those ones where I wonder if it's just maybe a little bit of lack of practice with the squads as they are.
It's easy to like. I mean, when I played, I made loads of mistakes.
No, God, you were flawless. You were flawless.
No, it's easy to look at it from an outside point of view and say, "This is what you did wrong. This is what you did." People are going to make mistakes. Put it that way. No, but like there was just. Like the mistakes they were making was just like a bit too obvious.
For me, it was too frequent as well. In fact, we're all sitting there going, "That's not the greatest."
Yeah, and it lost them a few maps, and that's what a bad mistake can do. Like, there's mistakes and then there's bad mistakes.
Especially with how close those maps are. I was actually surprised that all the way up to the final series, it was ridiculously close between them. I mean, when you talk about 1-point, half-point games, and you talk about dying second uplink games, and that's what happened over and over again. You said that these teams are so evenly matched. I didn't know if we were even going to see a blowout. And as you said, you usually see at least one a game, and we did. Finally, we saw one.
Yeah, and that was the only time that Infused really looked a lot stronger team. By that point, they weren't going to walk away with nothing. They were definitely going to point. So maybe that was in VWS's heads, but. I mean, if we look at the grand scheme of things, if they did that, and we mentioned this through the game, if they did that against Vitality or Epsilon, that would have been hard to watch because they would have gotten ran on. I mean, a team like Epsilon or Vitality would have punished you harder. For those mistakes.
I think you're right with the fact. I don't think a lot of teams will make mistakes. Players will make mistakes. It's decision making. Every single second of Call of Duty is decision making, right? But the best players, they make less mistakes. They play the odds. They play it safer. Even when they lose the gunfight or they lose a decision, they've usually made the best decision at that point. What we saw in that game, there are points when we all went, "That's not the best decision."
Yeah.
That is just not the best decisions to, statistically, it's not the best decision of what most players would make. And we saw as soon as it happened, we knew exactly where they'd gone wrong. And I think that was a few of the issues.
Yeah, I mean, they'll need to polish up. I mean, what do you think the main thing is for these teams they need to really scrub up on? Just communication?
Communication, yeah, but VWS is hard because they're using the sub. I do think they would have done a little bit better with their original fourth. Nothing gets realised. I do like him. I think he's a good player. I think he needs to just, stop being so stubborn with his whole attitude towards the way he plays the game. But he is a good player, and he's a good talent player, and he deserves to be in a top team. I see him tweeting a lot saying, why aren't you in a good team and stuff like this. And he should be in a good team. It's just sometimes, you need to adapt.
You need to adapt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's I think a few American pros said you've got to find that right team. Because players are always going to play the way they want to play. I said, but it's the really great players who can adapt and fit in. I mean, probably the most notable examples at the moment are people like Karma going into Optic. I mean, that entire Optic squad kind of changed the way they play a little bit. I mean, Krim slipping back into a more objective role rather than letting Nate do it. I said, but that's how these championship teams work, right? That's how the biggest and best teams will work. Is no matter how good you are at what you think you do, you're only as good as what the team needs you to do.
Krim's a good example. He's like, Black Ops 2 and Ghost, he was the best player.
Yeah.
Like, he was everything you want in a player. He was just good. Like, his skill was insane. But on this game, I don't think it's his skill that does it. It's more of how he leads his team. Like, he's taken over that team, and like whenever someone does something wrong, he's the person you need to call you out that you're doing something wrong. He is that perfect player.
Well, I just want to say, I still think Krim is as good as he is, but what Krim's done is done that unselfish role. He goes, I just want to win. So what he's done is going, look, I'm playing with two massive slayers anyway, and we were actually going off topic to a completely different tournament. But that you're right. That's the position that these players have to get that mentality in, and Krim is a great example because he's done it. Yeah. He went from dropping, massive numbers in 2 games to being with 2 other players that can do it and going, you know what, I'm going to take the other role. I'm going to support. I'm going to just do what the team needs, not what I want to do.
On the same foot, it's nice to have the teammates around him who can actually fill that role.
That's the exception. How much wrong can you do in that team?
I don't need a Slayer because I've got Scumpy who can do it and Formal who can do it.
Well, that's the difference we're talking about, and that's something that I know Gunch has actually had in his own squad when he used to play. You're talking about your own team and your old team. I know the kind of mentality you guys used to have is we're finding the right player, not necessarily always the biggest, showiest player. And you guys cared a lot about chemistry.
Well, yeah, it was like, perfect example, Shane. Like, he's not renowned for being someone that's going to drop a load of kills, but like, the reason I wanted Shane was because outside the game, he's such a good person. Like, Call of Duty is a mix of like having a strong mentality, good communication, and positive vibes at a tournament. When you come to a tournament, if you have bad vibes, it's just people are gonna clash in the team. Having someone like Shane in your squad, he just keeps everyone together, keeps everyone relaxed. And now he's like stuff like his S&D games in real. Like, he had like one of the best KDs from last Gfinity. His respawn, like, it's always been alright. It's not been amazing, but he plays his part in the team, and he deserves to be in that team 100%.
Well, fair enough. All right. Well, we have an interview with a player from Infused. It's over to Mike Kent.
Thanks, Brycey. We're here with Melon from Infused. You guys came into this game as the favourites. They were using a sub. You guys made it look hard. What happened in the game?
Well, it was a really close game. There were some maps that they choked as well. We clutched up on the uplink, but I think one of their teammates made a mistake and threw the ball to us, and we wrapped green, and we got 2 points when we won the map. Hard points were close, relatively close. We choked the second hard point. We won the first hard point by like 40 points, I think. 60 points, something like that. I think it was like 45. Second hard point, we choked so badly. We didn't make any kills on the last rotation. It was just bad. I got 1 kill backstairs, and then everyone just died. And then the uplinks, of course, they choked the first one. Second one, they outplayed us really well. Detroit uplink is probably one of our strongest maps as well, but they outplayed us on that really well. And then the S&Ds, we just clutched up. First S&D, 1-6-5. I got first blood at 5-all. Second S&D, we won 6-3. We went 5-0 up as well. I dropped 12 kills, 10 kills on the first one as well. I normally drop 10 kills every S&D, on LAN especially.
So, with the game itself, was there anything that you didn't expect from this team, especially using a sub?
Well, I knew they were a good team. Played them all online as well, and very stressful. But yeah, I knew they were a good team, and we just had to stay focused, and we ended up shutting the match out.
the format is very different. You're doing what they're doing. Obviously, it's not a best of 6, but they're playing all 6 games. Is that a bit more grueling than your average best of 5?
Yeah, it feels actually much better actually playing it like that way because there's more games, more game time, and it's just relatively more fun.
Who are you looking forward to playing in the Pro League?
Probably Epsilon, playing against Reese Price, known for as the best player in the EU scene. He's one of my closest friends, and he's really good.
Is there anything that you'd give any advice to the players coming on to play next? Is there anything you'd tell them, after your experience of playing the best of 6?
What? All right. Don't play in the left-hand side booth on the right monitor. It feels like you're playing on a box TV.
Well, there you go. There's some advice. So we're going to go back to the studio now to Bryce Tackler with his wonderful hair, and we're going to go back now.
Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate the hair comment. Also, great tip there from Melon. Thank you very much for that. Interesting, because I thought he was being quite reserved, and he definitely didn't look like a guy who just come out of an intense big win. And then until he dropped the comment, I've always dropped 10 kills on that map. It's fine. The confidence.
Something I want to touch on though. He pointed out they made mistakes and we made mistakes. They choked maps, we choked maps. Something we said all the way through, and it was relevant from what he said as well. Yeah,
I think he had a realistic expectation of himself, and that's for me. It's a little bit refreshing, and B, kind of interesting that a lot of players come out with that massive confidence and they're bouncing. He wasn't. He was quite reserved. He was like, I was expected to win that map. I'm very good on that map. He has a realistic kind of expectation of his abilities, and like I said, he was for me my MVP of that map.
Yeah, definitely MVP of probably the series. You would say. I think Brain would have a shout in there from VWS, but definitely from Infused. Yeah. I mean, Melon looked the better player all the way through.
100%. He was. It came down, like I said, came down to S&Ds, and that's what wins you championships. But on the S&Ds, he time and time again, he was the one pulling through for Infused. He was getting major kills that helped them win it, and it's nice to see he's really humble guy. He's down to earth. It's good to see him performing really well on the main stage.
Yeah, he's certainly not one of those players who's going to just go and start mouthing off on Twitter.
No.
Like I said, it was very humble. He was ready for the next game, and he's ready to play some other games. He wants to play Epsilon.
Yeah, and I think that'll be an interesting game. But again, we talked about it here. You can't really see anyone apart from the top 2 teams being those 2 teams who come out at the end of things. I mean, I don't know if you guys think differently. But
I've got to be honest with you here. The money or the smart bets would currently be on Vitality and Epsilon to take this one down, simply because they're the big names. And for me, for some reason, I always get this thing twisted, right? I keep thinking that, Tommy, when you see Tommy and Josh and Pete, you're like, Epsilon, it's Epsilon. It's not. It's Vitality. So it's one of those ones where I'm actually really interested to see who's going to be top dog at the end of this, because it is kind of, we're the biggest, we're the best. And that may just, be for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game at the end of the weekend. Obviously, that's really what everyone is looking to. But we've got some great games coming up anyway. But that one, if the rest of the games this weekend can live up to what that first game just brought us, then we're in for a good weekend, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well,
just touch on I can't even remember what I was going to say. About the French team. Sorry. It'll be interesting to see them play against Vitality and Epsilon, because they both play each other, the French and UK teams. And I haven't seen the French teams perform in a while, so I really am interested to see how they get on. I'm not expecting them to win. I'm expecting them to put up a really good fight, though, because I want to see French teams succeed, because they have the ability to, but they never seem to pull through.
Yeah, I agree with you. So that's pretty much concluded our analysis. Well, coming up next, we're actually going to have the Spanish Showdown. It's going to be Gamers 2 versus Over Gaming. That's certainly going to get loud, and it's certainly going to have a lot of people watching for the Spanish fans out there as well. But not only that, the MLG Season 3 relegation is going on this weekend as well. Let's take a look.
The overextend from FaZe Red, Nagafin shutting it down, Remy putting it in at the half, 2-1.
Oh, you gotta love this, but the shots coming, he gives away his position, doesn't matter, gets one. Second gonna push him in the same.
After a game dominated by defense, it's Aches against Nade, and your round-ending kill cam.